Right, we're live, lads. One thing I forgot to say, in the chat page, keep an eye out for in case I send anything. It might be just feedback to one of you, like with sound or something like that. So always keep an eye out on that. So yeah, let's get going.
You're in control of the YouTube one, Jamie. You go for it.
Cracking. Right. Hello, good evening, and welcome
It's
to
still
the...
private, Jamie. It's still private.
Oh.
So
You prick.
I'm not on it right now. I just need to...
Don't worry, no rush, mate, no rush. Whenever you're ready.
And it's live.
We wish.
And I fucking missed the goal.
Yeah, and you missed the goal, you bastard.
Hey, Jamie. The things I'm doing for you right now.
I know.
No slagging.
You're still a bastard.
Wow.
I wouldn't have technology, Seb.
And we're live.
And we're live. Oh, fantastic.
And it's not.
Right. Hello and welcome to the Final Whistle show on Let's Talk Sport, live right now on our YouTube channel. And wow, it's been a few years since we last did this. The last time we did this was actually all in the same room at Callan 105 FM in a little studio in North Wales. And that was at least 4 years ago now. But here we are, we're back again, but on Zoom, online now. And really, if you've never watched or listened to Final Whistle before, we're going to talk about the results from today in the football, and also we'll be keeping an eye on the evening kickoffs, including AC Milan versus Atalanta in Serie A and Cheltenham versus Manchester City in the FA Cup. Let's go straight to Adam. Adam, Cheltenham versus Man City. We watched Chorley take on Wolves last night, which was a very close game. Can we hope for the same with Cheltenham Town?
Yeah, well,
Joe's disappeared, Seb.
it was Joe has disappeared, but as he disappears, yeah, it wasn't a shocking result, to be honest. Well, it was a shocking result. I thought obviously Chorley would win, but for me, I think Cheltenham will get absolutely slaughtered. It's more of a balanced pitch, it obviously being a football league pitch, so I think there's more potential to play football. And obviously, when you're playing football against the likes of the Man Cities, you're not going to particularly do your greatest, even when Man City put out a weakened side. Yeah. So even though they've just kicked off now, Man City had an early chance, which just went just past the post. I've got a feeling I can't see Cheltenham getting much out of this unless Man City really take their foot off the pedal and think it's nothing. I mean, Cheltenham just had an attack on the back post, but nothing coming from it. But it's early days here. Looks like the Cheltenham man's injured. Could have possibly broken his hand here. Early days, but yes, looking in very much pain. Their striker looks like he could have broken his hand here. Actually, yeah.
I was going to say
quite serious.
I was going to say we'll talk more.
With the front post.
We'll talk more about the FA Cup later on, but Jack, Cheltenham Town against Man City. I mean, the thing is with Man City is it doesn't matter what lineup they have right now. When they have Pep Guardiola leading that team, they've always taken the FA Cup very seriously, and they have won it under Pep. So surely they'll look at this and think it's a great chance to win maybe the Premier League and that as well.
Yeah, I think Pep takes every competition seriously. It doesn't matter what. I mean, even the Capital, it's not the Capital One Cup anymore, is it? The Carabao Cup. But even that cup competition he takes seriously. So, I think he's one because it's a bit weird because some managers in the Premier League, they just put like a really weakened side out for cup competitions. And you think it's really weird, like a side like West Ham. I know they won today, but normally they put out a weakened side and they go out straight away, in either cup competition. So, but Guardiola is completely different. He wants to win absolutely anything he can, and he has put a really strong team out tonight from looking at the lineup. So,
playing, isn't he?
Exactly, yeah. You got Jesus up front, so he really wants to win this and sort of win this with ease, I think. And I think his goal is to get maybe say 4 goals up and be able to take some of the key players off straight away to rest them. But like I say, he's put a strong side out, and Guardiola wants to win everything. So yeah, of course he wants to win it.
I think, Seb, True, are you busy or you okay?
I'm juggling about it. I'm getting through it. Don't worry about that. I've just managed to.
Oh my God! Here he is. Oh no, he's really just set up again. Oh dear.
Oh, dear God.
Poor Seb.
I'm
Poor
gonna
Seb. We
cry.
do apologise. Basically, when we use OBS for our streaming, if anyone leaves or joins the Zoom chat, it makes the setup all over the place. It moves everyone
Joe.
around. So I think Joe owes Seb an apology.
I
I literally,
just about did it for us and got it sorted again, and then Joe got himself back on the stream.
sorry lads, I'm sat here and then next week the computer just literally shut the whole Zoom down and I hadn't even clicked on anything. I hadn't even touched anything. Technology.
I was supposed to watch a game. I'm not even bloody watched it.
And the first half's nearly done, but
No,
Seb,
no,
quickly,
we've got
it's
some
1-0,
moments.
isn't it, to Atalanta?
Atlanta, Romero. I can't tell you how the goal was.
Bicycle kick, I've read. But I might be lying, Seb. Who knows? Can you rely on that source when it comes to final whistle show?
I'm
We
gonna
don't
keep
know.
Joe blacked out for a little while.
I heard it was Admiral Lallana, wasn't it?
Oh God. Not again.
Good old Admiral Alana.
Absolutely terrific. Anyway, let's go through the FA Cup results then from today. So let's start off. Let's talk about this one for starters, Jack, because Southampton have beaten the FA Cup holders Arsenal, which, as yourself, will be delighted as a Chelsea fan. Yeah, there he is, punching in the air. Chelsea might not do much better.
Hey.
Cheap
It is Luton. It is Luton. It'll be difficult.
But a good win over Arsenal. Only the 1-0, but for Mikel Arteta, he'll be gutted because that was the one thing he was good at.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Yeah, I mean, look, I think the FA Cup, I think out of anything, Arteta really probably would have wanted to keep hold of that and retain that, considering he won it last year, beating us. So I think I think that's a disappointing result for Arteta, and they've been on a bit of a decent run as well in terms of their Premier League results as well. So I think probably going into this, they would have thought they might have, got away with the victory and gone into the next round. But Southampton is another team at the minute that've been playing well. Ralph Hasenhüttl's really been getting that side sort of well gelled. So I think that one of the funniest stats for me is that Willian has sort of made 20 appearances and only had 2 shots on target in his Arsenal career so far. So that's just a great result for us to get rid of him when we did. So, but yeah, in terms of Arsenal, I mean, look, I think whether this is going to throw Arteta back under the bus again, I doubt it. But I think, like I said, if I go back onto it, it's definitely a competition he would have wanted to at least go into the next round and go through. But yeah, like I said, well done to Southampton. They put a good performance in today, and like I said, it doesn't really matter if it's a 1-0 or not. They're through to the next round.
We've got a comment from Man Vendra, who's come back again. Thanks for coming back, even though it's really late in India. He said Tonali really underperformed. I just want to respond before he says he claims that we're not reading the comments again. Just to add a side note onto that, yeah, Tonali's had a really tough time. He's 20, he's still young. Milan have probably their weaknesses in midfield, so just a weakness. They've struggled without Benacer, who's been injured, and Kessie can't do it on his own. Tonali's underperformed. The red card against Benevento didn't help them. But he'll come good. He's 20. We've got to give him time. Okay, continue. Sorry for the interruption.
No problem.
There's a free kick here now for Cheltenham Town.
Of course, there is a rule that Adam and Seb must shout goal when there is a goal, or if there's a big chance, we will go straight to them. Of course, throughout our stream, we will keep you
straight into the box, lingering. Oh, looks like a handball shout. A handball's going to be given. No, it's not being given by the referee.
So I don't have to
There
shout
goes
goal
on.
because my goal came just before we started streaming. So
Goal.
good there.
Goal.
Let's go to the Atalanta game. Seb, it's one of those, isn't it? AC Milan this season are doing very well. I'd have thought, but Atalanta as well, a team you can never underestimate.
No, but Atalanta recently, they've been a bit strange. Since the Champions League, as I mentioned, they haven't lost a game since they finished their Champions League campaign for the winter, and they're looking back to their best. I mean, Gomez has been excluded from the squad, the club captain, let's not forget, and one of their best players. He has just been completely ousted, which seemed strange, but apparently there was a clash with Gasperini, but he is a big loss. But they're dealing without him, and Ilicic is coming back, which we love to see. And he's starting to get back to his best again. Even the stats say the amount of chances he creates per 90 minutes, outstanding, and it looks like they've given away a dangerous free kick, AC Milan, and Ilicic is at the centre of it again. And just to come back onto this, AC Milan, we've had someone say that Tonali struggled. He has, yes, and this was supposed to be the big next Italian player. AC Milan have been worse when Tonali's played. They've brought in Mate, I think that's how you say it, from Torino on loan, which seemed a bit weird because he's not that good. But that just proves how much Pioli doesn't. He's not, but that just proves how much Pioli doesn't trust Tonali in a two in midfield. So he's put Tonali there with Kessie today and also Mate, which I've just found strange. But Donnarumma's had some stops to make. Milan have dominated possession, but no shots on target, whereas Atalanta have had 5 shots, 3 on target. They're currently having the better chances, and now we've got a free kick on the edge of the box that looks dangerous.
Of course, let's go back to the FA Cup results though. But Joe, quickly, we haven't heard from you yet. After we can finally speak to you, you disappeared and then came back. Here he is, Joe. For Arsenal, I mean, does that add more pressure to Arteta after that result? Because the Premier League form would say otherwise. You know, in all fairness to him, they made a U-turn. Okay, they're up against clubs that they should really beat if they want to be at least in the Europa League spots come the end of the season. But, you know, an FA Cup, that'd be a real shame for Arsenal fans because that's the only thing they like to win.
Yeah, it's a bit of a disappointing one for the Arsenal fans. Mikel Arteta, obviously, they made a big deal about when they won it last year. Things that they failed ultimately in the league. I think they would have. Well, it would have been one of their top targets again this year, along with going far in the Europa League and probably trying to win that, which I can't see them doing. But it's strange. I think the league form's picked up a little bit, but as you said, it's against sides that they should be beating in the first place. I'd be interested to see how they do when they come up against one of the big 6 sides in the league and see whether they can get results.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
They did beat Manchester United, but that was United when United was struggling. Now they're flying high, unfortunately. So,
but I mentioned it before to Jamie when we were on our stream. If you look at the teams they beat, okay, they beat Chelsea when Chelsea were in a bit of a dip of form, but Arsenal played
We're still in a dip of form.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. when it started.
Yeah.
But despite that, they've had Newcastle. They drew to Crystal Palace. They beat. Who was it again? I can't remember the whole list. The fixtures have been reasonably kind. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, and they're still only 10th. Now is when it's starting to get tough because I think they've got Man City coming up soon. They've also got Brighton at home, but I just think that
Brighton, I think.
So the next games: Southampton, Manchester United, Wolves, Aston Villa, and Leeds. So we'll see really now if Arteta has made progress. That's what I think is important because winning against Newcastle 3-0, I fail to be impressed. Or West Brom 4-0, I'm not. Honestly, I'm not bothered.
Off the line.
Oh, Adam, what's happened
Off the line, then. If that had been the VAR, it could have been a goal, but no. Off a great goal-saving block then from. I'm trying to see which defender it was, but a great shot there from Mendy and a diving header, and it headed right off the line. It's gone out for a corner kick.
Corner kick. Is that a corner kick for Cheltenham?
Corner kick for Manchester City.
For Manchester City. Damn! I mean, oh, yeah, okay. Of course, yeah. I think everyone here is a Cheltenham fan tonight on a Final Whistle show. I might be wrong, but we all love a great underdog story in the FA Cup. Seb, you had something to say?
It was another comment saying that Gomez apparently is in talks with Sevilla. I heard that as well. I'm not sure how advanced they are, but I was mentioning with friends, if Gomez were to leave, I think that the Spanish league would be well suited to him. Now, if you've got Ocampos and Gomez and that Sevilla team, that could be really exciting to see because Sevilla haven't been exciting enough, in my opinion.
Interesting. I'll tell you what. Let's go back to the.
Abramovich has missed a big chance there. Oh, it was a tight angle, but he was probably not even a metre out closer, and he's missed the target.
And they are 1-0 down.
They are 1-0 down.
By AC Milan.
But this comes from a Tonali free kick. So Tonali, I mean, we mentioned he struggled, but he's actually the most progressive of the players at the moment. He's bringing the game forward for AC Milan.
Anyway, let's go back to the FA Cup results. So Barnsley won, Norwich City 0. Brighton, well, according to my dad, Blackpool gave him a good game at Brighton, 2-1. So they came out victorious against the League One side at the end. Millwall, though, lost 3-0 at home to Bristol City. And Sheffield United, they won a game. They won a game again,
Hey.
2-1 over Plymouth. But this is a one that a friend of ours at Let's Talk Sport, Connor Porter, will not be happy with. Swansea
dear.
City finding 5 against
Oh,
Nottingham
dear.
Forest.
Oh, dear,
Really
dear.
bad, really bad. 5 goals to 1 there. And West Ham United, who are actually doing all right this season under David Moyes, West Ham United are 4-0 up. Well, they were, now
It's
they
David
aren't. That gets
Moyes.
over. Moyes.
Yvette Moyes.
So West Ham 4, Doncaster 0. So interesting there. I mean, let's talk about West Ham, Jack, because what is going on with them? Like, they're actually playing all right. And okay, today was against Doncaster, but you know, it's a game where you need to shine because you're up against a team that aren't expected to beat you.
Yeah, and they're doing all right in the league as well, in 7th position in the sort of the Premier League table as well. So yeah, and obviously winning today means that they go up against either your team, Jamie, or Joe's.
Yeah, good point. We need to win our game first.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the live watch along is on tomorrow between United and Liverpool. Joe and I will be there. So
Let's hope it's not a 0-0 after 90 minutes again.
Well, luckily this time it has to be decided.
Yeah. Jesus.
It'll probably be 10-all on penalties or something like that. Actually, no, 0-0 on
0-0 on
penalties.
penalties, yeah.
Sounds about right. We'll talk
Technically-
more
All of
about
them
that
over the
game
crossbar.
later on.
Technically, a penalty shootout can go on forever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
it can. There's no rule that says after 1 hour we have to decide via coin toss, which I think should be introduced.
I think they should do, because it'd be only fair.
Oh, I think some sort of like wild card one, like next it has to be goalkeeper with his unpreferred foot. Ooh.
I still want it where you have extra time, but you can't finish the game until you have a goal. So even if after half an hour you still got to play, I'd love to just see players get really tired
back
and
the
go,
golden
"Oh
goal."
fuck this, I can't be
Golden
asked
goal.
anymore." Now, golden goal was horrible. I mean,
Golden goal,
technically-
silver goal.
Yeah, but see,
Silver
the
go-
thing
yeah.
is, with Manchester United and Liverpool, if they can't score, what would be the point?
Yeah.
Just put West Ham straight through.
It's just gone forever.
But then again, they both score own goals to try and lose. I think there was a match in history where they both purposely tried conceding the goals because they were just fed up and they didn't want to qualify. There's some story in some obscure league. I'm not too sure.
Well, I mean, literally within the second minute, West Ham led the game from 4-0, and then Yarmolenko 30 minutes later, and then a Butler own goal from Doncaster Rovers before Afolayan scored on the 78th minute. So a routine win for West Ham United, and of course, as Jack said, they could play either Manchester United or Liverpool in the 5th round. Let's quickly look at Swansea City though. 5-1 over Nottingham Forest, which
Can we say Chris Hughton's in danger? Their
What, as
form's been
Forest
decent
manager?
recently, but yeah, it's. Are they progressing? They're still just above the relegation zone. I don't know whether this is he.
Going down, going down, going down.
going down.
How long's he been there?
That's for you, Connor.
I think he's been
Wasn't
there
that
since
long
October, actually.
Yeah, he's not been there for long.
In the comments section, Joe, I hate you.
We've got Manvendra who's also active again, who says that Chanaloglu is one of the most underrated midfielders in Serie A. Agree completely. He is fantastic. And I think he's in the top 5 of most chances created in Europe. He's dearly missed when he's not there. We've seen that recently, but he's just brilliant. And yes, underrated. He gets too much criticism, in my opinion. Even against Juventus, when Milan looked woeful, he still looked like their best player. So yeah, comment again about about AC Milan as we approach half time, and it's been whistled half time.
So half time in Seb's game, AC Milan 0, Atalanta 1. But your thoughts on that first half, Seb? Even though you only watched 2 seconds of it.
Give me some credit, at least 3 or 4 seconds of it.
Well, Seb thought it was a very even game, 50-50.
I mean, completely chances all came to AC Milan.
Game of two
They did
halves.
have some chances,
Yeah.
but they just missed the target. And yeah.
Oh,
Chandler
good
was
save!
missed.
Oh, good save from Cheltenham there. Great shot from Torres, and Griffiths made a fantastic save, and it's gone out for a corner.
How are Cheltenham doing, Adam? Because goalless...
Cheltenham are probing, but not really getting the chances. Chances are coming more Man City's way, but they seem to be coping so far. Cheltenham. Let's hope they can continue to do so.
was going to say we can see Man City now attacking on the right-hand side, but yeah, they've got no Kevin De Bruyne. Actually, we'll quickly talk about that because Kevin De Bruyne, if I'm correct, he is out for 6 weeks, which Jack,
big.
that's a big problem. But I mean, City, Pep Guardiola can do it without him, I'm sure. But without De Bruyne in a season when injuries are hitting quite a lot of teams, it's a big concern.
Well,
I'm sure Cheltenham would be happy to hear that.
To be honest, I also think Pep Guardiola will be hoping that Sergio Aguero comes back as soon as possible as well, because I know he's obviously had that where he hasn't got positive, has he? But he's had somebody's who he's been around has had a positive test,
Yes.
I think, as well.
Same
Oh, really? I didn't know.
So he's had to isolate, as well as obviously having that injury he's had a couple of weeks ago as well. But De Bruyne in these last few weeks has been sort of playing that central role for Pep Guardiola in recent games. So obviously with him out as well, I know Jesus is playing tonight, but he'll be hoping that he can get at least maybe get Aguero back and get some minutes in for him. But look, I mean, if you talk about Man City, Laporte's playing tonight, and he was sort of like the main man in defence at the beginning of the season, and then he's sort of been sidelined because John Stones and Ruben Diaz have sort of come to form. So we know Man City's got a huge sort of squad. I know Pep Guardiola sometimes says that he hasn't, but he has with the sort of depth he has in that squad. So he should be fine without Kevin De Bruyne, but we know how good he can be. When he's on his day. So yeah, it will be a miss for City, but to be honest, they've got enough players surely.
You see, they've only put Laporte in, who's the only one who's born on the 27th or 28th of May. So
not this again.
on 3 streams now.
Get a new stat.
You should just record it and just press the button every time you say his name.
I'm hesitant just putting it on just play. These were born on 27th and 28th of May. Well, Laporte and Stones were born 1 day apart.
Wow.
Oh. Yeah,
and Kyle Walker shares a birthday with Laporte. Cancelo shares a birthday with Stones. The 27th and 28th of May.
Is that why Pep buys them all? Does he just see their birthdays?
That's his strategy. How did we not know?
It's so
all
that
these
they can
years.
celebrate their birthday at the end of the season, and it's all well thought out. And then I thought, is there a goalkeeper who could be on the 27th or 28th of May? There's just none that were. I noticed yesterday by doing boring research that all goalkeepers are born in March, and that bugs me. I
want to be a striker. No, son. You have to be a goalkeeper.
This is the rule of the month.
To be fair, Seb, when you talk about birthdays, didn't Vincent Tan have a policy at Cardiff at one point of only signing players with an 8 in their birthday because 8's considered a lucky number?
That's possible,
for God's sake.
It's not beyond the realms of possibility for someone like Vincent Tan.
The man who wears a football shirt over his suit and his trousers up to his nipples.
Great.
That's stylish.
He looks like a Bond villain.
Lads, we have a new subscriber, 297 now. So thank you very much for ever subscribed. We actually got a few during our watch along early this afternoon. So thank you very much. We really appreciate the support. And if any of you else aren't subscribed yet, do this, because we of course keep on doing more of these Final Whistle shows.
Walker and Cancelo, the best fullbacks this season. What do we think about that?
You're asking the wrong person.
Just everyone, I'm going to say, first of all, no. Cancelo may be, but not Walker. Who would you put
Is this in
as
the
the
Premier
best
League?
fullbacks? Yeah, in the Premier League. Who would you put as the best fullbacks this season?
Best left back is Scottish.
Oh,
The best
Joe,
left
come
back
on
is a
now.
right back. Just
You got to be honest, Andy Robertson is the best left back in the league.
I agree with Joe on that one.
I think Luke Shaw's just behind him right now.
Luke Shaw's
Only
had a great
right
season,
now, though.
But one of the best
Right
left backs
back is
this
a tough
season
one.
is a right back.
Gary Lineker is at the ground today.
Oh, we got live studio commentary now from Adam. Is the game still not on, Adam? Oh, big chance. What was that?
Oh, shot from Cheltenham. Look, I did just get a save. I think it might have got a tip from the keeper.
Ooh,
Cheltenham
let's
had
have a look.
chance, might have had a tip. I'm sure I got a tip, but we'll go on side netting. So I'll have a look in the replay. Straight through. No, just gone through the side netting, unfortunately. Look,
Big moment there.
yeah, big moment. Could have got something better. Oh no, give him the corner though. Gone to the corner. There we go. Yeah, got a corner out of it.
Oh, let's stay with Adam then. Explain what's going to happen then.
Gone to the far post, gone behind, and well, Man City
Oh.
picked it up and it's gone out for a Man City counter.
That's a shame.
Well, Cheltenham won it back and they're countering again. It's gone back into the box. Cheltenham's got it still, battling around in the box, twisting and turning, coming onto the outside, bouncing around, and it's a free kick to Man City.
Oh.
That was very underwhelming, wasn't it?
All that build up for nothing. Oh, right.
Oh, there was a free kick.
Don't blame me, blame the person giving the free kick away. You know.
I'll tell you what, lads, let's go back to our FA Cup results. Let's talk about Sheffield United, because they, as I said before, they've won a game again. It's quite incredible. Get the champagne, lads. End the season now. But 2-1 over Plymouth. So really, it was a fixture that they had to win, especially at home. And it was Basham and Sharp that got the goals for Sheffield United. And Plymouth did get a goal, but it was only a consolation at the end in the 75th minute from Pereira Camara. Let's start off with you, Seb. I know your game's at half time, so we can ask you about this. We've talked about Sheffield United before, haven't we? We've said that yes, they're in the relegation zone, but they are a good team. But the results will tell you they're not.
Wouldn't go that far. They're a good team.
Well, no, as in there is a team there. You know, it's not all bad.
I bloody hope so. They're in the Premier League. But they are not as bad as the points would make them out to be. I think they're just an accumulation of things that go wrong. For instance, I think their lack of awareness during matches is sometimes atrocious. If balls go into their box, they don't really fight for balls. Then there are just individual errors, and then there are just some players who aren't good enough for that level. And even Brewster, I'm not convinced he's good enough yet. I'm not low. I don't know what they'll do in buying him. Now that they've brought in the young lad Bogle, he looks like one of their better players. I think that says a lot about
Bogle?
Yeah, I think he's good. But then when a young player comes in and starts looking like the best player in the league, you know you've got a bottom, not a bottom side, but
I mean, I wouldn't say Omar Bogle's young. He's been around. Omar Bogle.
He's not young. I've not even checked his age.
He's been at Solihull Moors for a while.
Been around, has he?
He's been around for. He's been about 28, I'd imagine now.
Are we talking about the same Bogle?
Yeah.
Jaden Bogle at Sheffield United is 20.
Oh, Jamie Bogle. When I said Omar Bogle, you said yeah.
I didn't hear you. I thought you said something Bogle, and I thought, well, yeah, I'm saying Bogle.
Oh, how I've missed this show.
Oh my God. But I just think Sheffield United are not good enough, and they've had injuries and people missing, but it's just the simple things sometimes. And when you can see that maybe you should try and create a chance by crossing it, then cross it. Don't just wait. They just so many basic things that they get wrong.
Can I just ask a question? Can we make sure?
Yeah, of course.
Are we sure that it's Bogle and not Bogle?
I reckon.
Did I say
surely,
Bogle?
I
Or
reckon,
did I say Bogle?
I'm hoping it's
You said Bogle. I just want to mess about with you for 5 minutes.
I sat on the fence on that one by staying a bit in between the two pronunciations. Yeah.
Just want to mess with your head.
But I mean, Jack, with Sheffield United, surely they're going down. Surely, they've only got one win.
Sheffield United to stay up. Come on. Come on.
I'll tell you what, Adam, you can make the bet. I ain't.
Yeah. I'm not going anywhere near that.
Knowing Adam,
Hey, 20 quid to go down.
Yeah, not with minus 22 goal difference. I know West Brom are minus 28, so they're obviously the worst. But I mean, Sheffield United on 5 points in the Premier League table is not a good side. What was Derby's when they went down? Was that 9?
Yes, I think it was.
Was it 9 or 14 or something? Yeah. So yeah, look, I think it's ultimately they're going to go down. I think the one team that's in that bottom 3 at the minute that actually is playing like a team that shouldn't be in there is Fulham. Obviously, watching against them the other night when last Saturday actually when we beat them just 1-0, they did actually give us a really good game. I know we're obviously on a poor run of form anyway, but they are a good side. The way Scott Parker sort of changed.
They were down to 10 men and gave them a good game.
Yeah, well, yeah, the way that the way that Scott Parker sort of transformed that during the season, is incredible. The way, because they were so solid defensively, and they really give us a good go. So I think ultimately they're probably going to be the ones that are going to be out of the free to get out of that bottom three. I mean, Brighton around there in sort of 17th place. Burnley's only on 19 points with Newcastle. So I think that there's still a bit of fluctuation there. But I think in terms of Sheffield United, that I think ultimately they are going down. Obviously, they are into the next round in the FA Cup, so they will be playing Bristol City. So that is an opportunity for them to maybe get into the sort of the sixth round. But
is this going to be a Wigan where we've got a Championship team in Europa League?
Yeah, yeah.
Or do they qualify for this the new European third tier competition? Because I think, that's the League Cup. Because that's coming in next year.
Cup.
Yeah, and I think it's the winner of the League Cup who.
What's it? Europa Conference League or something?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Some rubbish
really?
nonsense
Do we really
like
need
that.
I don't know.
Well, if you finish third in Europa League group, you get into the Conference League.
That's what I thought.
Whoa!
And
European League.
And I suggested that if you finish third in your UEFA Conference League, you should be promoted to the Champions League. It should be an infinite circle.
What, you get into the conference, do you? So you face you're facing the likes of Wrexham, are you?
Oh my God!
I suppose it's marginally better than calling it Europa League 2, which was the initial name.
That's seriously what they were going to call it.
They were going to call it Europa League 2.
That's automatically degrading itself, isn't it? By saying we're number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, Europa League's degrading. That's a name in itself, I can't say anything. United are in it. God damn it.
We'll be out
Thursday night, BT Sport.
Someone saying nobody watching Betis versus Sociedad. Unfortunately, not. Nope. We are not big on Spain. I've got the Inter and AC Milan games up, so I can only have.
What channel is it on?
It works differently for me.
Yeah, he's in Switzerland, Joe.
Let us know in the comments below and I'll see if I can find it.
I think it's 11 Sports or something.
Saudi Arabia illegal streaming. Ooh.
Right, let's go back to some of the results. Brighton 2-1 over Blackpool. That's a good result for them. But let's quickly go through the Scottish Premiership as Aberdeen got a win over Motherwell, 2-0. But Rangers, Joe. Rangers making another big statement in the Scottish Premiership. 5-0 over Ross County. I mean, surely they've won the league. I know that's a bit of a rhetorical question, Joe, but that result there is just to pretty much give Neil Lennon another reason why he should be sacked, maybe, because they have completely lost the title now.
Stevie's getting his first title. Get in.
At least he got one with someone apart from Liverpool.
It's fantastic for Rangers. They've been good all season. There's been question marks on whether they're going to drop off at all, because last year they were in a similar position, not a big enough big of a points gap. Obviously, last season I think the points gap was like 9 around this stage last season. Then they had the winter break, which they've got rid of this year because
a bit more than 9 this time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 23. Is it off the top of my head?
23, yeah.
I think.
But they've played 3 games more, Rangers.
Yeah, but Celtic aren't going to win all their games in hand, let's be honest, because
No.
they're atrocious at the moment. But yeah, I think he's built a decent squad. Stevie Gerrard up at Rangers. Ryan Kent on the score sheet again, ex-Liverpool player. Wasn't quite good enough to make it in the English leagues, so he's gone up to Scotland and given it a good go up there, and he's one of Rangers' best players. It's Joe Rebo, another one from lower down the leagues. I think he signed from Charlton, if I'm correct. And that's another good player for Rangers as well. He's on the score sheet, and Ryan Jack's been there for years now. I think it's good to see Rangers, and they're doing it convincingly as well. They're getting results, the 5-0 results against Ross County, which is a team they should be pummeling anyway, with all due respect to Ross County, but at least they're doing it convincingly. Whereas with Celtic, I don't know what's happened. They made some good signings in the summer with the likes of Diogo, Laxalt, and Shane Duffy, the experience. You'd think he would be experienced enough to have their defence organised, but for some reason it's not seemed to work for Celtic, and I think the writing's on the wall for Neil Lennon. One thing he did say the other day was that he will not quit as manager. Celtic will make the decision. So Celtic apparently have been having meetings this week to decide his future. Nothing's come out as yet, but I'm sure that I think what they're doing is deciding who they're going to appoint before they sack him.
But is there any point in sacking him now? The league's lost. They're not going to bring in someone who's going to manage to get them into first place now. That we know that's impossible. So what's the point in not waiting until the end of the season when people would want to move into a job? Unless you're getting someone who's out of a job currently, like Eddie Howe, say, for instance. Is there any point trying to
He's been
lure
linked,
someone in? Yeah, but is
Ambrose
there...
Grant can do a couple of months.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is what football's all about, getting someone like Aaron Grant in Scotland.
And you'd be saving money as well.
Give it Giggsy
You
to them
wouldn't have
this
to
season.
pay off his contract.
I'm hoping Lampard gets sacked by Chelsea and then gets the Celtic job.
Could you imagine?
I'd like
to
to
get-
get Pardon Gerrard fighting out in Scotland.
I'd like to see Gary Neville give it a go. Gary Neville, just to see how bad he could do in
Yes.
Scotland.
Celtic, the
Jesus.
Valencia of the North.
It was actually, in all fairness, lads, it was really interesting. We'll talk about. Actually, I wanted to talk about Inter Miami later on. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Gary Neville actually did say earlier this week about why he didn't make it into coaching compared to like his brother, Phil Neville, where he actually said on Monday Night Football, he said, the moment Phil Neville wakes up, he is thinking about formations all the time. He's thinking about what to do with his tactics.
Couldn't tell when he was on the
time.
pitch.
Yeah, couldn't tell you.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
because
mean
he's
that.
thinking about the
he was-
formation and the tactics all the time,
Just
Seb.
standing there thinking
That's
how he
why you
could
couldn't
thinking how he
tell.
could dribble the ball around.
But what he was saying was that he knew that it took probably really big extra energy and all that to focus on coaching all the time compared to his brother and all. So it's quite interesting. He even pointed at Jamie Carragher in the studio and said, "That's why you're not a coach. That's why I'm not a coach." All that.
I
kind of
hope
stuff.
he dare
I
say
will-
that to
I will-
Roy Keane. I really wish he would say that to Roy Keane.
He's scared of Roy Keane.
I'll tell you this now about Roy Keane. He did all right for Sunderland. He got them back into the Premier League when they were in the Championship. So I don't
Yeah,
think he
and
did
Paolo
too
Di Canio
badly.
did okay for Sunderland the time he was there. I mean, come on.
Hey,
think Roy Keane-
hey, he was part of Martin O'Neill's setup that got
Gus Poyet as well.
Let's not
Roy
forget.
Keane is a cracking pundit, though. He's
He
just
is.
no nonsense. I love it.
He's the best pundit around.
He's not afraid to say what he thinks, and I have to respect him for that, because some of the pundits do just dance around the subjects a little bit, don't they? They won't go in and say what
Yeah.
they actually feel. They have to be sometimes PC. Obviously, you've got to be
correct.
a certain degree of PC, something about you, but sometimes they're just too afraid to say what they actually think. Whereas Keane and Souness, to a lesser extent, say what they think.
Oh, sick.
Let's
But
look
I'm not a fan of
let's look
Souness, so.
Let's look at the SPL table quickly. So Rangers, of course, top 69 points, and if I could do my maths correctly, they are 23 points ahead of Celtic.
Jamie the mathematician.
What can I say? Yeah, even our host, even our guest in our Watch On Four is a mathematician. Till I lied. And Celtic, well, they're on 46 points, and they are 28 goals behind in the goal difference. Yes, they've got 3 games in hand, but as Joe said, I have to agree with him. Can they really win those games in hand with the way they're playing? I'd like to see that happen. Aberdeen, with their win over Motherwell, gets them third. They're 4 points behind Celtic, but Celtic have the 1 game in hand over them. Hibs are fourth with 40 points, and then in the relegation area, Motherwell, of course, defeat to Aberdeen today leaves them 11th, and Hamilton last, which I didn't think I'd ever say that. Jack Hamilton last.
Yeah, sadly, it's not the
that's a
sport we
good one.
watch.
No, not the sport we watch, sadly. Anyway, let's move on. In the Scottish League Cup right now, St Johnstone are 1-0 up against Hibs with 35 minutes gone. Championship, QPR, there was only 1 game today. Queen's Park Rangers losing to Derby County under the new manager of Wayne Rooney. And it was Kazim Richards scoring in the 56th minute there. And because of that win, Derby now go up to 21st, which is quite mad to think when Derby have normally been a lot higher in the league table, competing for the playoff spots. But Jack, Wayne Rooney, he's been a full-time manager for just over a week now. But what do you think about this? Because, I mean, look, it helped Lampard, didn't it? It got him the experience to be full-time with a decent club, you could say, with the right setup. And now he's the Chelsea manager, which, okay, it's not going as well as planned, as some say, but I still think he should be given time. But for Wayne Rooney as a manager, can you see it? Can you see it being a long-term thing for him?
I don't know. I wasn't really one of them people that thought Wayne Rooney would go into full-on management. I thought he would be somebody that would just be like sort of Darren Fletcher, who's now gone into sort of like the coaching bit in the sort of club. I thought he'd maybe be something like that. I didn't think he'd go into sort of like the full actual management style. But maybe it's something he wants to try. You can't regret something if you don't make that decision. So he's obviously gone in there, see what they can do. The chairman's obviously trust young managers, like you said. Frank Lampard had no experience, and he went straight into that job at Derby. So we'll see what Wayne Rooney can do. But yeah, to answer the question, I didn't really think he would be a player that would go into like the full management job. But yeah, I suppose good luck to him. See what he can do there.
Joe, it's funny because you do sometimes watch players on the pitch like Steven Gerrard, who was a natural leader in midfield for Liverpool, and obviously he was the captain. And you can see it, can't you? You kind of want to go up to that player before they retire, or even when they do retire, and think, give it a go, give coaching a go, management a go. You can get the badges. I'm sure a club will pick you up and give you a go, and they can bring what they've got from the pitch to the sidelines. I can't see that with Wayne Rooney, though. I'm not saying he wasn't a leader on the pitch or anything. He was very vocal, and he got the job done at Manchester United and England and for the other clubs he played for. He even went to the MLS, which, okay, it's a bit of a league that no one really talks about, but he still did it, I guess. But, Joe, Rooney, can you see it being a long-term thing for him?
Not really. I found it really strange when United appointed him captain. I think it was only because of his seniority in the squad. I don't think he's vocal enough wasn't vocal enough as a player, in my opinion. I'd seen him play a couple of times, and I didn't think he was vocal enough. And so I got drawn to the Cheltenham game then. And then
I didn't think it was much of a shot, to be honest. Just a bit of a stinger, but
thanks for telling
I must be a little bit ahead of Adam, so I'm not going to comment on what's happening.
Hang on a minute, Seb. Am I seeing that there's a penalty here?
There is a penalty, and it's for
Why
Atalanta.
didn't you say? Come on, you got to shout it out.
Honestly,
my
I'm
friend.
having a Chris Kamara moment here.
Is there, Jamie?
Well, it's Atalanta. Is it an Atalanta penalty?
It is indeed, yes. And it looks like that Ilicic is trying to negotiate with I don't know who to take it. I think he will take it. But we've also got a comment saying Diaz on for Mate or whatever his name is. I can't pronounce it. And I'd agree in some way.
We've got some fireworks going on. Let's stop the game.
That's what happened at Stockport last week.
That's what distracted me, Adam. That's what distracted me.
Oh, what type of fireworks?
Seb, go on, commentate on what's happening here. Let us know if it goes in.
I am, and they're taking quite a while. It looks like they're arguing between Zapata and Ilicic. I think Ilicic will take it. I'm quite confident he will.
So it looks like Atalanta have the chance here to
go 2-0 up.
Go 2-0 up at AC Milan in the San Siro, which last week we saw Inter Milan beat Juventus there at San Siro under Antonio Conte, next Chelsea boss, as we know. Well, the penalty's been taken.
And it's a goal, yes. Donnarumma gets close, but it goes underneath him.
And the cardboard cutouts are absolutely loving it in the stadium.
And that's it.
They're running onto the pitch.
Oh, what's happened? What's happened here, Adam?
No, I'm seeing the cardboard cutouts are running onto the pitch.
I thought you meant that fans had somehow got onto the Cheltenham pitch, thinking where'd they come from?
They stopped the game just because of the fireworks.
Yeah, they did it at Stockport last week in the.
I don't get it. Fireworks aren't causing any problems apart from a bit of noise.
It's basically the flares that are given off. If it comes and catches the fire onto the shirts, then it could.
That'd be very unlucky for someone, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's how you become a flair player.
He's got some flair, hasn't he? Like that.
Hashtag flair puns.
So I'm actually going to be a bit pedantic again because I usually am with the rules. Ilicic was still Okay, Kessie elbowed Ilicic. That's where the penalty came from. Ilicic took this penalty while blood came from his mouth. So technically, he shouldn't have been on the pitch.
Yeah, you're right there.
So I'm wondering if they're really going to be that harsh. No, he's not going to retake it. It doesn't look like it, but it's stupid from Kessie. It's what he can do every now and then. He's great on the ball. I think someone compared him to Yaya Toure, but he can just make an error every now and then. It's just very frustrating. Like there, giving away a penalty, and he didn't have to. On the edge of the box, and they're fighting for a header, and he just elbows him in the face. Stupid penalty to give away.
What lovely fireworks, by the way.
Yeah, aren't they? no.
Back on Wayne Rooney, yeah, I can't see him being in it for long. He is the same person that said if he wasn't a professional footballer, he'd be a vicar. So maybe he might go into being
What?
a priest, post. Yeah, he said if he wasn't a professional footballer, he would have been a vicar or a boxer, I think.
Well, that's
A vicar
interesting
or a
you
boxer?
say
That
that.
sounds
A
weird.
That's a bit of a, yeah.
Those
Those-
two look
those
like
two
two
don't
very
play hand in
different-
hand.
Yeah,
No,
they don't, do they?
Maybe vicar by day, boxers by night. Just don't know. You just don't know nowadays with people.
Yeah, well, that'd be a great nickname, wouldn't it?
The
And
vicar.
coming on to
What-
the
Coming into the
boxing ring
ring.
now, the Saints.
It's Father Rooney.
Reverend Rooney.
Well, we all know what his off the field antics are like. His hobbies off the pitch, but let's not go into that.
Oh no.
Joe.
No, we're not allowed to say that.
Jojo. No.
But also, actually, you mentioned that
You
because
can't talk about Wayne Rooney without mentioning that. Come on.
Rooney does have a cross tattoo on his arm. I'd imagine that might be religious. I'd imagine so. He's had that for a long time.
No, he's playing noughts and crosses.
He's had it since he was
He
10,
forgot
Jamie.
he forgot his 3x3 and he had
Can
2x2
you imagine Wayne Rooney
like
doing a sermon?
3
Couldn't
in a row.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Wayne Rooney doing a sermon? Couldn't you? Today we are we are here today in the church to celebrate the birthday of Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Because that's what he says to me all the time in his interviews.
Interviews, yeah.
I think it was a good goal. We did play all right.
So
We did
does
keep
Gerrard, so does
possession.
Gerrard.
Just the fact that we're talking about them like that makes you wonder. You just can't see Rooney as a manager just because of speaking like that. I know that sounds a bit rude, but
Oh,
It is.
That's
That's
very
unfair.
hard. That
So
is very
I'm
hard.
gonna give a little update. So
I'm going to send him a message and tell him you said that.
Well, actually, our good friend here, Adam Davis, is a coach himself, and this is a man who doesn't know where the ball is when he watches the game with us on Final Whistle.
Wow.
I'm going to give a bit of an update. We've got Kalulu who's coming off on a stretcher. He actually looks even unconscious on that stretcher, which is not a good sign. He's coming on for he's coming off for Misakio, I think it's pronounced. But yeah, it doesn't look good. I didn't even see what happened. Don't even know. But they haven't kicked the game back off since the goal, so it's been quite a wait, and it doesn't look good. So hopefully it's not bad.
Well, it looks as though, Adam, that because of the fireworks, there's been 6 minutes of added time.
6 minutes of added time. I mean, to be honest, I'd have given it about 4 minutes added time. I wouldn't have given it 6. I mean, it wasn't on for that as long as 6. But I suppose...
I guess they're just trying to lighten up the game.
Yeah. Give them a bit of extra value for money, I suppose. Well, nobody was paid online, maybe.
Thanks,
Well,
referee Adam Davis.
What is
But,
Stefan crying about now? The City goalkeeper. He's crying about something.
Perhaps
Not
he
my
wanted to light a
president.
firework.
That's what he's saying.
The flare has gotten down his back.
Unfortunately, it's gnarly.
And actually, just go back. So, there's only one game in the Women's Super League today. Aston Villa Women 2, Reading Women 2. Of course, mainly the WSL games take place on a Sunday. We'll go through the League One results. Charlton Athletic 2, Swindon Town 2, Crewe Alexandra 1, AFC Wimbledon 1, Gillingham 2, Rochdale 2. It's just draws galore in League One. Ipswich Town 0, Peterborough United 1. Lincoln City 2, Northampton Town 1. Oxford United, a good win there over Bristol Rovers, 2-0. And Portsmouth, well, I mean, who'd have thought Portsmouth and Hull City, both in League One these days, they lost 4-0 at home to Hull City.
Oh, nearly goal there, but just over the bar. Now it's gone to the corner.
Who's that, from Cheltenham?
From Cheltenham, yeah.
Blimey, they're giving them a good game, City, in this first half. It's still goalless, but we'll talk more about that first half when it gets to half-time, Adam. Going back to the scoreline, Shrewsbury Town, our friend Jamie Burgoyne will not be happy because Shrewsbury Town have lost 1-0 away at Sunderland, and then yet another draw. Wigan Athletic 0, Fleetwood Town 0 in League One, and then going down to League Two, Exeter City 3, Stevenage 1, Scunthorpe United 3, Grimsby Town 0, Cambridge United 0, Bradford City 0, Carlisle United and Forest Green Rovers was postponed. Leyton Orient 0, Forest Green Rovers 1, Morecambe 3, Colchester United 0. Oldham Athletic and Newport County had a bit of a lively game. It was 3-2. It ended at Oldham. Port Vale 1, Walsall 3. Southend United losing at home to Mansfield Town at a 1-0. And Tranmere Rovers 2, Bolton Wanderers 1. I still can't get over the fact that Bolton are in League 2 these days. And quickly go through the National League. And of course, yesterday we found out that National League North and South have been suspended for the next 2 weeks. So that's up until February 5th. There was actually a lot of National League games that took place today. Barnet 1, Altrincham 2. Bromley 1, FC Halifax Town 2. Chesterfield 2, Wrexham 1.
Yes,
Dagenham and
Asante, Asante.
Of course, if anyone didn't know, Adam Davis is a big Chester fan, but he's probably a big Asante fan who used to play for Chester FC, and he did score against Wrexham today. Both
Twice.
goals. Yeah, both goals. 9th and the 89th minute against Wrexham. And of course, Wrexham being local to us lot, most of us apart from Seb, they do have new owners about to take over of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, which I can't get over the fact that that's happening. It really is a bit of a pinch there, isn't it, Jack?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know Adam is probably a little bit disappointed about that, to be honest.
Oh
I
no,
think
they can stick a Santa up their arse, don't they?
What they need now is they need
Take
Hugh
that.
Jackman to take over Chester, and then it's
that would be
perfect.
hilarious.
I'd love to see that.
You know what to do, Adam? Get on the phone.
Yeah.
You must have him in your phone.
They have done, haven't they? They've actually gone
Yeah,
round and
they
asked
did
Luke
jokingly,
that.
didn't they?
Yeah, and they all went no.
So Jack, what is the latest with the takeover? Because it should be happening this
Oh, and we nearly
this
got a
week,
good
next
chance.
week.
Zupatic just heading it over.
You were
Ilicic
saying,
putting in a
Jack?
tasty
Yeah,
cross.
sorry. Yeah, just in regards to that, I think they're on sort of like the final stages. They're just trying to get it all sorted with the. I think it's like there's something with the association, isn't there? There's like a company or a board that they've just got to process it through. It has taken a little bit a while longer than they probably wanted it to, but they've got to go through
They've
the whole
got to do
process.
a safeguarding check as well, haven't they?
Yeah, I think there's like these final few stages of just making sure everything's all correct and in working order, as it were. But yeah, I think it won't be long until it's probably properly announced. But I think everybody, in terms of the town of Wrexham, has sort of thought that they've been owners for months now. So
Not that Ryan Reynolds is like a con artist, And for some very strange reason, the FA have to do a safeguarding check on Ryan Reynolds.
Well,
yeah,
Robert McKinley,
no one
who
should have
could
special
very well
treatment.
be con artists.
Who knows what he's hiding, Ryan Reynolds?
Well, didn't he sell his gym business not that long ago for something like 300 million or something ridiculous?
Yeah.
It's crazy how much.
And
money
a wine
he's worth.
business.
he runs
And a
runs
rum
loads-
business as well, actually.
He runs a phone business as well now.
Sounds like quite the philanthropist,
Half
doesn't
time
he?
here at Cheltenham.
Oh, what? Go on then, Adam. So your thoughts on that first half? Because Cheltenham Town are, wow, I think Man
Cheltenham's
City
had
fans
a
will be a bit
very
concerned.
good, very good positive start for Cheltenham, to be honest. From what they've done, all their chances have come from free kicks, lumping it into the box. Headers have troubled the keeper. They haven't had too many shots out from open play.
Ooh, really get away.
But Man City have come out, and they've come out unbroken. They've had a few shots really fizzing past the post, so I haven't really counted them much of the chance as I would have liked to have seen from them. But other than that, no, I think Cheltenham were very much in this game. I think Mahrez is very much lively. I think he's livelier, even the liveliest out of all of Man City's lot in this game. I think Jesus has had a big, yes, this is a lowly team. Get used to the physicality side of it when he's been roughed up a few times. So it's been quite nice to see him been humbled a little bit. But yeah, it's an interesting game, and it's quite even at the moment. Cheltenham Town 0, Leon Man City 0.
An interesting FA Cup tie there, which I must admit, I mean, who knows? It could be a bit different in the second half because of the difference of energy both teams will have for the whole 90 minutes. But who knows? Could we see a shock in the second half? We shall see throughout the show. But yeah, I mean, the whole Ryan Reynolds takeover thing with Wrexham is just, it's such a crazy story. I mean, I remember, Jack, we were when we were at university, we had a mutual friend of James Wright who would have Deadpool stuff like Deadpool pencil case, Deadpool stuff on his.
He was the one who
dashboard
started it.
How,
He
how old was he?
James Wright knew all along, if you're listening. But it's crazy to think, Jack. Like I haven't spoke to James since, but I wish that I have now, just to kind of go. It's mad to think, James, that your car that has got a dashboard full of Deadpool figures has now got the actual Deadpool taking over your local club. It's just, you can't write it, can you?
No, I know, and I can't actually. I think I don't know where I was, whether I was in work or something had popped up, and I think it was about the takeover, and it just like it was very. It didn't really give much away, did it? It was sort of like the
No.
Wrexham put a tweet out, and it just said, "Wrexham Supporters Trust have announced sort of like the people that are looking to put a bid in for the club." So I thought, oh well, I'll have a look and see who the names are, and I read it, and I was like, hang on, why do they sound like properly familiar or like? And then when I like saw like all the news popping up, it was
Adam,
like,
don't turn your camera off. Sorry, Jack. Just
all right.
don't turn your camera off. Go on, Jack. Yep.
But yeah, it was like seriously like Ryan Reynolds, and obviously I'd been watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia at the time as well, so it was like Rob McElhenney as well. It was like these two sort of Hollywood stars really want to buy Wrexham. I think everyone in Wrexham was like, really, Wrexham? But they'd obviously done their research, and they sort of all the researchers that they'd obviously asked to have a look at football clubs had chosen Wrexham with their history and the racecourse ground and everything. So they'd done into a lot of detail about it. So yeah, it was an absolute surprise that they'd chosen Wrexham Football Club, and like we know, there's already probably a documentary that started in terms of what's been happening behind the scenes. But it's sort of it is a huge deal for the town and obviously the club, and this is a club that's been wishing for many years to finally get out of the National League and get back into sort of like the Football League of English football. So who knows? It may come in the next few years. I don't know if it'll come this year. I doubt it in terms of where they are. But I think, in the next couple of years, hopefully with some investment coming in from these new owners, we may see Wrexham back in the Football League.
I can't imagine what the scenes would be like when Ryan and Rob do visit the ground on match day, because they do want to. They had Spencer Harris, who's actually left his role now as director of the club, but or chairman, I can't remember. But Spencer Harris, I think, deserves a lot of credit. It's a voluntary role, so he ran the club, on his own back foot throughout the last few years. Even when I was volunteering there, he has done his job. But I think since they've moved forward now, he's been happy to leave it in the hands of somebody else. And he was saying that to the BBC, it's crazy how much media requests they probably had Wrexham throughout the takeover. But they also Rob and Ryan stressed that they really want to go. They want to visit the ground whenever they can. Apparently, there was rumours coming out that it could be in May this year. But of course, we can't plan anything at the moment because of COVID-19, as we all know. But it is good to see that's not an investment just for the money. We see that a lot, and even so, they wouldn't go near Wrexham. I don't think. I think there's a lot of rich people out there who go towards clubs that are already known around the world. But it is fantastic. It is fantastic to see. So, we'll have to talk more about that on Let's Talk Sport over the next few weeks or months to come. And
to be honest, Jamie, I wouldn't be surprised if they put Wrexham in one of the movies. Not necessarily the town, but they reference it in one of their TV shows or movies.
Deadpool's next
Deadpool
mission
is
is
funny,
on Wrexham.
In Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you could make a clip about Wrexham, and they go,
Sunny in Wrexham.
"What's a Wrexham? What's a Wrexham?" or something. You could say.
What? I can imagine the intro now of that show, and it'll be like, the lads go to Wrexham.
It's always raining in Wrexham.
It's always raining
That's
in
better,
Wrexam.
yeah.
That's amazing. There's your sequel right there. Actually, funny enough, they've just renewed a contract for that show. They've got 4 more seasons. So
nice.
That show is going to be around for at least 20 years, which is an absolute brilliant achievement, which Jack knows. I've only started watching it since they took over the club. And I just love the fact that when I got up to season 12, Danny DeVito is still sleeping in the same bed as what's his name? I forgot his name.
Charlie. Yeah.
Charlie, still sleeping in the same bed, and they're clearing the clutter from their bed. It's like, oh my god. Oh,
I watched it a couple of years ago, but I need to get back into watching it again because I watched a couple of series and then stopped.
Look, Deadpool 3's been announced as well, so I'm guessing it'll be referenced in there somewhere as well, for sure.
Surely.
Considering how that goes down, yeah, Deadpool will surely make some reference because.
And I'm sure that we've seen even other stars, Jack, John Cleese, I forgot his name, the ex-astronaut. He's been seen wearing the Wrexham shirt. John Cleese.
And the mask. He's invested.
Yeah, it's
If that ain't
crazy.
commitment, putting Wrexham all over your mouth, I don't know what is.
I mean, there was a picture from one of the people who run the merchandise stuff of Wrexham, and he's had this picture of all these parcels of where they're all going, and it's just crazy, the publicity. I mean, another thing, E4 Williams trailers when they got announced under Ryan and Rob, the E4 Williams. I mean, they even interviewed the owners of E4 Williams, and they were like, you just can't buy publicity like that. And they said they actually did get.
Oh, we have a good chance there, and it's saved. Oh God, that
what's happened there, Seb?
Oh, they got. Atalanta threw their bodies on the line now and just blocked a shot. It looked like, I'm not sure if it was Mandzukic. So the Croatian duo of Mandzukic and Rebic have now entered the pitch. So it's gonna get tasty. Atalanta dominated the beginning of the second half. And he's just tackled it perfectly there. Just perfectly there. Who is that? Who's that for Atalanta? I can't see the numbers. The signal's gone. But yeah, 2 good tackles against Mandzukic and Kessie, but that was brilliant. Atalanta dominated the first period of the second half. AC Milan got back into it, but Atalanta were comfortable sitting deep. It's been a good game. And Ilicic is really, really showing his best levels again, which is good to see.
And Mandzukic, he's just joined AC Milan, am I right?
Yeah, he's just joined for free.
And this is his debut, right?
Yeah, this is his debut, so I can't wait to see it. I mean, he played in Saudi Arabia, didn't he? I'm not too sure, but he didn't play a lot, so he's come back now for free agent.
Can I have a bit of a rant about selling Tamori as well, or not selling?
No,
Tamori,
it's a loan. It's a loan with an option to buy.
I mean, that horrible buyback as well.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's not. They've got one more substitute, Milan, so I don't know if he'll be coming onto the pitch.
I've just seen Zlatan now. He nearly had freedom in the box, which could have been a scary moment for Atalanta, but he couldn't get the shot through. So, yeah, 2-0 there to Atalanta. Seb's watching that one, and of course at half-time it's Cheltenham 0, Man City 0 in the FA Cup. And just quickly go through the scorelines I mentioned in the National League. Wrexham, of course, losing 2-1. Dagenham and Redbridge 3-2 against Kingsland Town. Dover Athletic lost 2-0 today to Solihull Moors at home. Notts County 0, Torquay United 0. Stockport County 1 with Boreham Wood. Sutton United 3, Eastleigh 0. Wealdstone 3, Aldershot Town 4. What an away win that is. Weymouth 1, Hartlepool United 0, and Woking 0, Maiden United 0. And it's such a shame scrolling through the scorelines that there was no games in the National League North or South today after agreeing to suspend it for 2 weeks.
Jamie, do you want to know a fun fact about Weymouth?
Go ahead, Joe, of course.
I don't know if they still do, but I know that they used to train on their local beach. I remember when I went on holiday there when I was about 8, I think. Might be 8, 9. It was very little.
Yeah, Joe was the manager when he was 8 and 9.
And I remember seeing the whole team training on the beach. Didn't have a clue where any of them were, but they used to train on the beach, which was interesting.
That's pretty cool.
I think more clubs should go old school and train on a beach.
I'd like to see it. Well, actually, if you play in the FIFA Beach Soccer Tournament, it's the perfect place to train. And the latest scores in the German Bundesliga, Hertha Berlin 1, Werder Bremen 2 at half-time. And then, of course, in Serie A, AC Milan, as we've got as our featured match, 2-0 down to Atalanta. And Udinese drawing goalless at the moment with
Inter Milan,
after 71 minutes.
It doesn't look that exciting. I've got it on in the background, but doesn't seem to be intriguing me that much. This one is good though. I mean, Ilicic his movement all around the AC Milan defense is brilliant, and you've got Zapata who's in moments bullying Cher, and it's really good to see. This is how you play against AC Milan.
And since we're getting to the last hour of the show, let's preview some of the games for tomorrow. But actually, before that, we could talk about what's actually happening tonight. Yes, there's more football tonight at 8 o'clock. Aston Villa versus Newcastle. Joe, Newcastle United, not great at the moment, are they, under Steve Bruce? And Aston Villa, wow, they'd feel like they had that game stolen from them against Man City last week in the midweek game. But surely you'd expect a Villa win in this one, especially when they haven't been able to play in the last few weeks.
Well, I would have thought so. Aston Villa had been in a bit of form, hadn't they, prior to that. mini break. I accidentally just knocked my laptop then, so sorry about
Hold
that. Yeah.
Just
But
hit
I
the
think
post here. Oh, that was a good shot from.
I don't know what's going on at
New.
Newcastle. I don't know what's going on with Newcastle. It's a strange club. The expectation levels are always high from their fans, and to be honest, they do deserve better. They're one of these historic clubs, but at the same time, they can't expect anything higher than. They do expect European football, obviously, and they have high expectations. But really, they shouldn't be expecting anything higher than 14th place under the current ownership. They were lucky that their ownership failed, their potential takeover. By that, was it Abu Dhabi?
It was Saudi Arabian, wasn't it?
Saudi Arabia, that's the one
something like that,
consortium. And obviously, since then, they've had a bit of a downturn in form. Steve Bruce isn't loved by the fans, they know that. But there doesn't seem to have been that much of a difference in performances from when Rafa Benitez was there. And don't get me wrong, I like Rafa, as a Liverpool fan, I have much respect for the bloke. I'm sure Jack, as a Chelsea fan, has respect for him too. But,
Oh, no,
what's the point?
Just doesn't shoot in time in the box. They're creating chances all over the place here against AC Milan. They're unlucky not to get a third. It just doesn't take the shot. Go ahead, sorry, Joe.
Sorry, I just went quiet for you to talk about it. Yeah, I think it's one of those where he's left his job, hasn't he? He quit today at Dalian, Professional or whatever they're called, the club that he was managing in China, Rafa. So there were rumours rife about his return. Yeah, well, he's made a bit of money, hasn't he, from being over there, and it's not exactly thrilling, is it, the Chinese Super League? With all due respect to the league. So there were rumours rife about him potentially returning to the club. I can't see it happening. Not with the way that Steve Bruce on the brain. What's his name? Mike Ashley wouldn't release funds for him to buy the players that he wanted. But I think Steve Bruce is on borrowed time at Newcastle United personally, because the fans aren't happy with him. And I know Ashley said he's backed him, but he said 3-0. That not that long ago.
It's 3-0 and Zapata has got a goal, and it's been coming, I think. What a goal. Well, he gets it in. Donnarumma's near post on the ground. Brilliant build-up from Atalanta.
Yeah, is this the weekend, Seb, where Serie A title race changes hands?
Well, Inter are currently drawing 0-0 by the looks of it, and they might have a penalty though. But if that's the case, they are still 2 points behind AC Milan. So it's still all to play for. Atalanta go into the top 4 with this win, but that's a good goal, yeah.
It's a good statement.
Who's the pass come from?
And the players are coming back out onto the pitch for the second half now.
So Atalanta 3-0 up, and that looks like to be 3 points for them in Serie A this evening. Of course, with Villa though, Jack, John McGinn serving a 1-match ban because he's had 5 bookings. I mean, I think he's
only had 5 actually.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. But I don't know about you, Jack. I mean, yes, Grealish is their best player, but I think McGinn, he doesn't get rated a lot, I don't think. I think he's been very underrated this season for Villa, helping his team out, especially with some of these significant wins they've had under Dean Smith this year. But without John McGinn, I guess for them, maybe they should be okay without him against a team like Newcastle, but they might miss him a little bit tonight.
Yeah, I think actually Villa have got quite a few players in that squad that are actually underrated. I think the way when they brought in Martinez as a goalkeeper, in the last transfer window as well, that was a good signing for them. Tyrone Mings, well, I know, obviously it was a bit controversial in the sort of City goal the other night. Obviously that was involved with Tyrone Mings as well, but I think he's been a good sort of addition to them. Obviously you mentioned Jack Grealish as well. And to be honest, I need Villa to win tonight because they're the only players left for my fantasy points. So I'm quite desperate for them to actually put in a good shift to help me in terms of my fantasy league. But yeah, I mean, look, I expect Villa to win tonight surely against. I mean, Joe's mentioned it against Newcastle. To be honest, I think the way Newcastle are built at the moment, they should just be grateful that they're in the Premier League, simply because the way the thing's been structured for years with the owners and who's the one that goes to Mike Ashley? Is it Lee Charnley or something like that? I think he's like the director of football. It just doesn't do anything. The amount of managers they've had with them two sort of in charge of the club, and it just hasn't worked. So I think they're just sort of in a waiting game before somebody finally decides to buy the club. So. I think, Newcastle should be grateful, really, the position that they're in. I know they've made some decent signings. I think Callum Wilson was a good signing for them.
He's saving them at the moment, let's be honest. He is saving them.
Yeah. So I think he was a crucial signing for them to actually keep them to where they are in the league. But I think Villa, to be honest, it should be 3 points to them, especially considering they're at home as well. But I think it should be more. And to be honest, the way if Villa actually do that and they do actually get the 3 points, they will be level on points with us, which doesn't really say a lot for where we are in the league at the moment. But it'll obviously be us, Southampton, and Aston Villa all on the same points if they win.
But Aston Villa are actually better away from home than they are at home, despite them beating Liverpool 7-2. They've only got 10 points at home this season, and they've got 16 away.
Yeah, they've got they've got so many games in hand as well.
Yeah, they've got games in hand now, so that's starting to accumulate as well.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with the John McGinn remark. I think he is underrated to a certain extent, but then I also think he does have quite obvious technical flaws, but that's being too critical. No, sometimes he misses the easiest of passes, and that happens quite often. But he's essential to what Villa are doing in the middle of the park alongside Douglas Luiz. So, yeah, you'd expect Villa to win. I think I'm going to
heavy challenge. That could be a yellow.
What was that, Chris Kamara?
Heavy challenge from Cheltenham defender, and it's going to be at least a yellow. Yeah, it's a yellow card there.
Yeah, that was.
Tamori might come on because Kjaer looks like he's injured.
Come on, Tamori.
Atalanta have bullied him all afternoon.
I wish they'd taken Rudiger.
Kjaer's not the kind who would be bullied easily.
Rudiger and Christensen in a double deal.
Oh my God.
Actually, Kjaer is also very underrated this season. So not a lot of people talk about him. He's had a tough time with going back to Spain, etc. But he's been one of the best defenders in Serie A this season. He's magnificent, and you can see when he's not there that AC Milan aren't the same structured team. So he's I don't know if he's coming off. He's on the side. No, he's asked to come back on. Yeah, he's come back on.
Adam, can I just mention that tackle? Obviously, that was Gabriel Jesus, and I know you talked about him earlier with it getting ruffled by the defenders. That is literally welcome to the FA Cup challenge, isn't it?
It is. I was about to say it was a Viking challenge, but I thought I better not.
You're playing an FA Cup game.
Yeah, and I was going to say about Villa before. Newcastle. I think I'm going to start a petition for the government to expel Newcastle from the Premier League because it's awful to watch. You don't pay for that, do you? Come on. And I think Bruce doesn't have any excuses. Yes, fine, there's not the investment that people would like, but they did get in Callum Wilson. They got in Lewis. They got in, even though they were free, they got in Ryan Fraser. He got in back Andy Carroll. He's had some transfers. And they got Joe Linton last season. They got Almiron not too long before that. There has been some investment. We can't pretend that it's the situation like Burnley. But if you're going to defend like that, at least get the points. And they don't seem to be getting them except for if Callum Wilson suddenly puts in 2 and don't even know how sometimes. Yeah, I think they're atrocious. And we've mentioned this multiple times on the stream that I think Newcastle will go down because Callum Wilson.
What are they, Seb?
They're atrocious.
What?
I think it's an adjective I use too often. Yeah, and I just think they're terrible to watch. They're just awful. Putting 6 or 7 players behind the ball in defence against Sheffield United. Come on, there's no respect in doing that.
Well, Trezeguet actually returns to the squad following a hamstring injury, so that's a plus point for Villa. And Matt Target is also available. Well, for
that's
Newcastle.
Key, Matt Target.
He is a target.
Because putting Neil Taylor at left back, I'm not convinced is the best idea. So that's good for them. And also we've got Luke who's saying Matty Cash having a great season. Or wait, you guys think Harrison is on the Bale trajectory since both started at left back? Then left winger, then right winger, both have similar kinds of playing style too. Yes, absolutely, but not in the same way. Jack Harrison of Leeds, obviously, that's a comment from Mavendra. Maybe. What do we think about Jack Harrison?
What's that got to do with what we're talking about?
I don't know. I think he just wants our opinion on Jack Harrison.
All right, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I was confused.
Why not?
What are you bringing in?
I think it's a decent shout, but I don't know whether Jack Harrison will go to the heights of Bale.
Federico.
I'm continuing watching my game now.
Do you think King Asante will go to the heights of Bale?
Oh, Sante's above. Sante's just above.
Oh my God. That was actually the word of the show. Hey,
Asante will manage a Liverpool side if it's Everton or Liverpool one day. You heard it here.
So Alan Saint-Maximin could feature for Newcastle United for the
Another
first
one,
time
sorry, yeah,
since
another
November.
transfer.
My God, can I say my thing?
Sorry. I know, I just had to. I was thinking of one
Just
more
mute
transfer and I couldn't
everyone.
get it in my
Mute your
head.
mic.
I couldn't get it in my head.
Yeah, so for the first time since November, after recovering from a long-term coronavirus symptoms, which is not good to hear, and Federico Fernandez and Kieran Clark are both doubts due to injury. So that's the big game tonight in the Premier League. The only game this weekend, Villa hosting Newcastle United at Villa Park. Now, actually, we're going to now talk about the FA Cup from tomorrow. And let's start off with your team, Jack. Chelsea
Yay.
versus Luton Town. Now, Luton Town of the Championship, I don't know much about them, but with the way Lampard is under pressure at the moment and with the results not going his way, Luton will fancy this.
Oh, I'm pretty sure anyone, Chester would probably fancy it, to be honest, the way we're
Yeah,
playing.
Sante, yeah, definitely.
Newton Athletic would fancy it, I think, at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody else saw Frank Lampard's press conference yesterday, but he really wasn't having any questions in regards to what the journalists were firing at him. He was in a very fiery mood yesterday. So whether he is feeling the pressure a little bit, I don't know. But look, he kept harping on about the fact that he obviously knows the pressures of managers being in this job, being a player there for so long. He understands that. He was under so many managers as a player at Chelsea, so he obviously feels and understands the pressure at the club. But look, I mean, I've said this a few times now. I think if they were going to sack Frank Lampard, I'm pretty sure they would have done it between that gap where we had, I think when we lost to City and we then played Morecambe in the FA Cup, there was a bit of at least a week gap there.
Oh, the 1-on-1 here. The 1-on-1. Is it in? Oh, just past the post. How did he miss that? How did Jesus miss that for Man City there?
Yeah,
because he's average. So a big chance there for City.
That was an absolute
City.
sitter. Screwball between Jesus round the keeper, and he put it just past the post.
His dad wasn't looking down on him properly there, was he?
I mean,
Jesus
Navas?
Yeah, Navas.
Most assists in the league this season.
I remember it even been off the post, I think.
Yeah, it did bounce off the post.
Oh, that is just...
Well, I've got some stats here, Adam. It's quite interesting because at the moment, City have had 5 on target compared to Cheltenham's 1. And off target, Cheltenham have 3. Man City have the 6 off target. But it's looking very interesting, Adam. It feels like the later it goes on, Cheltenham will feel they've got a chance.
They need to bring John Stones on for the goal.
Yeah.
John Stones.
Brilliant.
Now, I think the later it goes on, I think the more pressure, the legs, the Man City will take its toll. And I think that's when Man City will get the win. So I think if the time to score, now's the time for Cheltenham, really.
Pep looks upset.
Pep looks very upset. He's probably thinking, how the fuck are we not beating a League 2 team? I mean, let's going with you, Joe. I mean, Chelsea, well, it's a must-win tomorrow, isn't it, regardless of their form?
Sorry?
I was just saying with Chelsea playing against Luton, it's a must-win regardless of their form.
Yeah, it's a must-win, but
it's Ibrahimovic on the score sheet. Sorry. Good
gosh,
chance.
yeah. Every time I go to talk,
I've been told to do this.
Can I just get my word in?
That is true. That is true.
I'm only messing, Seb. I'm only messing.
Everyone should put their hand up when they want to talk. It's like back to school.
Me, sir. Me,
Every time Joe
Mr.
speaks,
Jamie.
make sure you speak over him. So go on, Joe, what are you going to say?
So, yeah, it's a must-win for Chelsea. Must-win game for Chelsea. I think, let's be honest, I can see them winning it. Doesn't matter what side they put out, because with all due respect to Luton, there's a massive gulf in quality between the two sides, and we saw that in the last round when who was it? He played the last round again,
Morecambe.
Jack. Morecambe, there you go.
4-0.
Where they put out a slightly weakened side and smashed them 4-0. So won't be surprised to see a similar scoreline. But it's just important for Chelsea to get the results so they can breed a bit more confidence and just get a run of results together.
Moving on, at 2:30 tomorrow, it's Brentford hosting Leicester, which I'm looking forward to that one. I think that could be. I'm not saying there's a potential cup upset, but Brentford, they're a good team. Of course, they nearly got to the Premier League from last season after they reached the playoff final. Leicester City, though, wow, they're doing fantastic in the Premier League under Brendan Rodgers, which, of course, Joe Stanley would disagree that he is a good manager, despite
Yeah, Joe, what was that on about on that stream the other day? What's your
So you took the bait.
what's your issue? No, I didn't take the bait. I said, what's your issue with Brendan Rodgers? What's your
He's
beef with?
overrated. He's
What,
overrated.
Klopp isn't?
Yes, because Klopp has won trophies. I know Brendan Rodgers won trophies at Celtic, but my nan could have won trophies with that Celtic side, and she doesn't have a clue on football.
So you baited into my Jurgen Klopp.
Look at that squad. Look
Yeah,
at that
it
squad.
doesn't-
Are they a top 4 squad compared to others? No. And he's competing this season and also last season.
Yes, but he did it the same last season, and then he dropped off a cliff and finished, what was it, 6th?
5th.
In the end, last
Fifth.
fifth. Well, might as well have been
Which, hang on,
6th.
hang
It
on.
doesn't really
Yeah, but
matter.
I think they're
In all
overachieving
fairness-
at 5th as well.
Yeah, I think
In
they're
all
overachieving
fairness,
in 5th.
In all fairness to Leicester as well, it was on the final day of the season to be determined if they were going to get Champions
Casper
League
Schmeichel
football
got
or
them
not,
5th.
so-
The only thing is, though, you're only as good as the season you're at now. And who beat Liverpool this season?
Well, not Leicester.
Yeah, exactly.
They rolled the red carpet out for Liverpool when they played them.
Well,
At least-
I thought I held the cards. So.
I'm not a fan of Brendan Rodgers. I find him highly arrogant for someone that's not
Oh yeah,
been
but that's
that
what you love
successful.
about him. Even if he
I don't
accidentally
love
gets
it.
if he gets the tactics wrong, he'll take all the credit. He could just like against Arsenal. I'm
He,
not sure
he didn't at
I'm not sure
Liverpool. He
planned
did
to
take
do
the credit
that.
at Liverpool.
No, he always does.
He did take the credit at
always
Liverpool.
does that. It's like, oh, it's a tactical masterclass. Oh yeah, it totally wasn't accidental.
If you spend a couple of years under his management, you'll understand the way I felt. Oh, there's been a goal.
Did you? Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
Adam, you'll see it in a minute.
And
Well,
See it in a minute, Adam.
Oh, it's Cheltenham. They're 1-0 up.
Oh,
Oh,
thanks.
Adam, where are you?
I'm behind.
I must be ahead. Cheltenham
I
are
must be-
1-0 up. Come on, Adam, explain what's just happened. Or is it not
I
gone?
can't explain because it's still nil-nil here for me.
We'll let you explain when it comes.
The mighty Cheltenham,
What minute was it?
58 minutes.
Oh, I'm on 57.
Oh well, I'm 10 seconds behind then.
What?
It's a throw-in
Don't
as
worry,
well.
I'll celebrate in a minute. Hang on.
Ready?
What's
Hold on.
worse?
58th minute.
Yeah.
It's not happened yet.
we're all
What
having our
stream-
Chris
what-
Kamara
what
What
moments.
stream
stream
are
are
you
you
58
watching?
Well, Adam,
I'm using the Bet365 stream. It's straight on time.
Oh, I'm on
I'm watching
iPlayer.
BBC normally.
It must be
BBC One.
happening now from a throw-in, must it?
Yeah.
Okay, this must be it now then.
It's a
We
literally
have a
Rory
throw-in.
Delap goal.
It's coming in. There we go. There we go.
The guy who scored looks like Dan Middleton.
Oh, and it's Messi in the
It's
Atalanta
coming in.
box.
Oh, it's in. It's in. They
I'm still
scored.
behind. I'm still behind. What? Hang on. Oh, it's coming
Oh,
in.
and a good
Incredible.
save
Coming in.
from
It's
Galini
coming
there.
in. Oh, goal!
That is
That's how far
incredible
behind I am.
scenes. So Cheltenham Town are half an hour away from beating Manchester City. You just can't write it, can
I
you?
did
No, it's hit the
say,
post.
they needed to score around about now in order to have any chance of winning this game.
Oh, it's a
Because otherwise the
masterclass,
legs will take its toll. So let's hope that they can either grab another to try and make themselves comfortable in this game, because otherwise that Man City will find their way back into the game. But otherwise, yes, that was a very well done. Found the gap, got the poke, and got it right into the top hand corner. Well done, mate.
Not sure
Great goal for
why,
Cheltenham.
why Stefan was so far out and then he comes running back into his goal. That was a bit weird.
It's the City way.
Yeah.
This
It's like
is
a glitch.
the way.
It's like a glitch on FIFA.
This is
isn't
no
it?
way.
Like a glitch on FIFA when your goalkeeper just runs about randomly.
And going to the AC Milan game, I've just seen Seb a really stressed Zlatan there, just missing
smiling,
another chance.
smiling,
Or was he smiling?
smiling
He
while
didn't
they're
look
3-0
very
down.
happy.
AC Milan are really applying the pressure now. It's getting scrappy in the Atalanta box, but they're not getting the goal. And honestly, one goal's not going to be enough, is it?
No.
Galini, he just about grabs it from the corner there. Atalanta seems safe. Another 3 minutes to hold on. If they don't concede,
you
then
can't take that
it's
away
even better.
from them.
so this
And
puts
that'll
them up
certainly
into
help their goal
4th ahead of Napoli.
Quite incredible. So, incredible scenes on our first Final Whistle show back since 2017, and we could be seeing a big moment in the FA Cup history of Cheltenham leading Man City 1-0. We'll be, of course, on until the end of the game, but before all that, we'll talk about the rest. Brentford-Leicester. Jack, your predictions on this one?
Surely it's got to be about Leicester 2-0, I think. The way Leicester played against us in midweek, I know we were atrocious, but I think the way Leicester played, it was a outstanding performance by them. So I think easily it's a 2-0 win there.
What are you going for, Joe?
Yeah, I think Leicester will win. I'd love to see an upset, but like Jack said, the way that they're playing at the moment, you can't look past Leicester City.
No, you can't. All right, let's move on. The next one at 2:30 as well tomorrow, same time as the Brentford game, is Fulham hosting Burnley. So a bit of a Premier League clash going on there.
Ooh, Mandzukic's shot is saved there.
And saved. Mandzukic, AC Milan can still not get a goal
Ibrahimovic
against
heads onto
Atalanta.
Mandzukic. Mandzukic gets a little left shot in. Easy save, but chances are coming for AC Milan right now, but they're just not going in.
Too late.
Too little, too late.
Too little, too late.
You need to apologise.
So Fulham versus Burnley at Craven Cottage, and I mean, Joe, Fulham, as Jack mentioned before, Fulham are
Ruben
doing
Diaz
quite well.
is coming on for Man City.
So a substitution there for City.
They need a goal.
No, Stones, we want the 28th of May, guys.
Brilliant. But Joe, with Fulham, they're up against Burnley. And Fulham at the moment, I think they'd like to prove themselves because they gave Man United a good game earlier this week, and they look the team to stay up if they can just get these performances turning into results for them.
Well, yeah, a lot of people have asked me about whether I like football or not, and I do, but not Burnley.
I don't really, to be honest.
But not
Glad you
Burnley.
do.
Burnley can do one.
Oh,
I'm going to put it PC. Going to put it PC on for the YouTube channel. Because I'm not sure if YouTube will allow swearing.
I'm watching a bit of the Inter game, and Inter have now drawn 0-0, which means that AC Milan will stay on top no matter what. And Antonio Conte has just got a red card at the end.
Oh,
Classic Antonio.
Dear.
Don't
Conte.
never change, Conte. Never change.
No, I love his enthusiasm for the
I
game.
think he is the coach who's had the most red cards since this has been introduced.
I completely agree with. I completely agree with Jack though. The enthusiasm he has on that sideline is absolutely fantastic. But Joe, going back to the Fulham game, yeah, as you said, you can swear. Don't worry, we're on YouTube. You can swear on YouTube. But I actually did put in the sayings it's not for kids. So.
Great.
but Burnley, Joe, they got a good result against Liverpool. Fulham nearly had a good result against United, so it could be a very tight one.
Yeah, it could be a very tight game. Obviously, yeah, Burnley got the result on Thursday. You asked me about this last night in the stream for the Chorley game, so I would prefer not to talk about the Burnley result again.
High five!
I didn't hear it.
I'm raising my hand so I can speak. It's full time, 3-0 to Atalanta.
Oh, full time. Go on then, Joe.
But with Fulham, yeah, they played well against Manchester United in the weekend. They got the result, back in early December against Liverpool, where they got a draw as well, and they troubled Chelsea last week as well. Obviously, narrowly coming to defeat there. So Fulham would be slight favourites, but no, my luck, because I picked up this game, it'll finish 0-0.
So Fulham 0-0 from Joe. What are you going for, Jack?
I'd actually give Fulham a shout in this one. I think obviously Burnley have got a great performance out against Liverpool, but just the way I watched Fulham play the other week, I really think, obviously I was a big fan of Scott Parker. I know maybe he didn't have the gifts of everybody else in terms of his actual skills or anything, but he was one of them players that would fight for every challenge and try and win every ball possible. So I think if he brings that into sort of his management style and the way he's really been sort of progressing in the recent few weeks, the way he's building that squad now, I think he's got a chance against Burnley. So I think they might scrape a 1-0 win against Burnley tomorrow.
Interesting.
Lads, I've just got a text linking Rafa Benitez to the Celtic job.
Oh,
interesting.
Rafa versus Stevie. That'd be interesting.
yeah.
Just a mate of mine who
Would it though? Would it be
seems to
interesting?
be in the know about things like this. He just says Rafa to Celtic.
Well, I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it, to be honest.
I forgot to say this before, but Tavernier, who's the top scorer in Scotland, right back, weird, yeah. He's on a goal drought now of 9 games and still top scorer in Scotland. I just think that's brilliant.
Great league.
It's just terrific. He's been linked with Lille apparently, so that could be quite an intriguing one.
actually, we'll go back to your game now, Seb. So it's ended AC Milan 0, Atalanta 3. Just quickly looking at the stats of this game. So AC Milan with the 14 shots, while Atalanta had 18, but 7 shots on target from Atalanta, and they got 3 of the 7 there. While AC Milan, even at home, they didn't really show much on target there. Despite the possession, it was not really by much. 4%, 52% to 48%, which is pretty much the Brexit result of 2016. But yeah, it's been an interesting one there, Seb, because I don't think Atalanta were expected to beat them 3-0 at least.
No, but then again, Atalanta don't lose these games against AC Milan. I know this is a new AC Milan side, but they lost once a year ago. But if not, you'd have to go back to 2015, last time AC Milan beat them. So this is usually a game that Atalanta like. It's not surprising. Atalanta's high pressure was always going to cause AC Milan problems, and they did it really well today. Again, Ilicic again, amazing performance, even if his goal did come from a penalty, and Zapata just causing problems all day long. AC Milan's system was wrong. They played a 4-3-3, but then again, they couldn't really do much about it. Benacer's not there. Diaz, I don't think, is someone who he trusts to start. So Pioli did what he could with what he had at his disposal, but putting two up front at the end with Ibrahimovic and Mandzukic, they lost so much control in midfield that they didn't ever seem like they were going to win the game, and that's just unfortunate. I think Çalhanoğlu was dearly missed as well. Benacer, these players really change how AC Milan play, so it's unfortunate that these injuries were there, but yeah, I don't think Pioli could have done much about it. But still, Inter drew, so AC Milan is still 2 points clear at the top.
So, of course, looking at the table, as you mentioned, Milan top with 2 points clear, thanks to Inter Milan getting a draw as well tonight. Roma, though, there was a big result, big game there that you watched earlier on.
I kept turning my head, and the goals just kept coming in.
Goals galore at the Roma game, and you mentioned as well an ex-Premier League player, Mkhitaryan, is shining at the moment in Serie A.
He didn't play today by the looks of it, but yeah, I think he's got COVID. Anyway, there's another ex-Premier League player that I wanted to mention was Smalling, who I said was probably at fault for all 3 of the goals Spezia scored, just so you have an idea. 4-3 to Roma. He's been great, and then he's also been really bad. There have been moments of both. Yes, and Mkhitaryan has been terrific this season. I think he's got the most amount of assists in Serie A. Dzeko wasn't playing. I don't know why, but so Roma could be happy that they got out of this game with a win. A tough win to get, honestly. This is the team they lost against in midweek in the Cup. And I said to you before in the earlier stream, they lost that game twice, basically, because they lost in added time, and they also lost because they used 6 substitutes. So they lost that game twice, let's just say.
Oh, and there's just been a big save against Cheltenham's goalkeeper there. Well, I'm sure Adam will let us know what happened.
In about a minute and a half.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
So
about a minute and a half, yeah. Or maybe 3 hours. You never know. You never know with it.
Well, Adam, you can stay. We'll be gone by then.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So, yeah, Serie A table looking quite interesting at the moment. The title race
Roma
going
needed that
on.
win. Roma really needed that win
They
because
did.
that keeps them in 3rd place, 1 point above Atalanta. Napoli have 2 games in hand on all the top 4 sides, and they're 2 points behind Atalanta. So they can't go first, but they can start pushing Inter and AC properly if they win those games in hand. One of those is against Juventus. When it'll be played, I'm not sure, but yeah. And Juventus also have 2 games in hand. They're 1 point behind Napoli. It's looking like a very, very nice title race, despite the Milan clubs just pulling away ever so slightly.
And we've got, before we talk about Man United Liverpool, we'll talk about the 8 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night in the FA
Oh, the save! Oh!
Christ.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Adam is back with us. But it's Everton versus Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow at 8 o'clock at Goodison Park. And, well, Joe... Joe's gone.
No,
He's gone.
no.
No! I forgot he had to leave us, didn't he? Because of his quiz. So that's him gone. Did you not get a black screen ready?
Yeah, but
I love how we haven't talked about United Liverpool and
I think that's somewhat
yeah, we've all
relieving,
moved.
Jack.
It's tactical leaving, that's what it is. He doesn't want to talk about it.
I
I
think
just praised Brendan
Joe's,
Rodgers for the last half an hour.
Joe's absolutely afraid. I tell you what, I'll ask Jack then. So,
All right, okay.
This is how it works.
Everton under Carlo Ancelotti's been interesting, hasn't it, so far? But against Sheffield Wednesday had a bit of a hard start to the season when they had points deducted. But Everton should be all right in this one, surely.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have a soft spot for Carlo Ancelotti. I think what he did, obviously, managing us for that period and obviously winning the double as well. I was one of the people that was sad that obviously we got rid of him at that time. That was actually at Everton as well, wasn't it? Going back to that memories when he first joined Everton, he was like, "Oh, I remember getting sacked by Chelsea here." Yeah, I mean, look, I want to get everyone else's thoughts really on that, guys, because I don't know in terms of Everton, because they've had a little bit of a dip in form recently. I mean, I'm obviously not going to say this is a must-win. It's a bonus if they can get through to the next round of the FA Cup. But sort of, do you think they need that sort of momentum now going back into the league, because they have sort of slipped from where they were at the beginning of the season?
It's funny as well, Adam, with Everton, because I actually thought, with Ancelotti being the manager, you never know what he could do with a team.
Yeah,
but it's just not really working. I'm not saying it's not working, but they don't look very competitive against the big teams.
I mean, to be honest, they started off very well. They started the season very, very well with the team that they had, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened with whether it was the fact that the other teams got used to the way that Everton played, and they adapted their style to the way Ancelotti was playing, and that's been the fault. But I mean, they've got enough money in Everton now in order to adapt. There's no reason really why this transfer window couldn't be that reason why Ancelotti couldn't go, listen, this is why we're failing. We need to get some new lads in order to liven it up. But they haven't done.
I'm sorry, I'm going to stop us all here because they've lost 1 in their last 7 in the Premier League. They're 2 points off Liverpool with 2 games in hand. That's not that bad, is it? I mean,
I wasn't going to say it's atrocious. I just thought with the way that they've been playing recently compared to where they were maybe at the start of the season, I don't know because everybody else has changed.
The squad is thin. The squad is very thin. I'm just going to say that I don't get Everton even for the past 5 years. I just don't get them. I don't even know what Ancelotti is trying to do. But they're in a strong position. They're 6th. They win their games in hand. They go ahead of Liverpool. Even if they win one of them, they go ahead of Liverpool on the same amount of games. So it's not bad. But when I don't think that you can ever aim for Champions League football when you have someone like Tom Davies playing more than 10 matches in a season. Credit to him, he tries hard, but let's be honest, that team is not good enough. I don't think players in that squad are good enough. Like Iwobi as well, successful crosses I think must be really low. So he's doing a decent job with what he's got at his disposal, but there's no depth in that squad. There really isn't. He plays, 4 centre-backs in the back line most of the time? Well, because Dean's been suspended, injured, and then Coleman's had his injury issues this season as well. So he's doing a decent job with what he's got. Or he's doing a good job. But buying big players like James Rodriguez, and he's not performed recently, I don't think. That's been a big struggle for them. He played the last game against Wolves, I think, he didn't have any strikers. He played Sigurdsson and Hammers up front on their own, and it was just weird. But they won it. But yeah, I think the squad isn't deep enough to challenge for anything. I think if they even go further in the FA Cup, they could struggle in the league afterwards. So I think Ancelotti's got to set his priorities, or they buy in January. Either way.
Scoreline predictions then for Everton Sheffield Wednesday. Jack, what are you going for?
I'll probably just be a bit simple on this. I'll probably just say 2-0. I expect they'll get the result, but they won't really run away with it, I don't think.
No. Adam, what are you going for?
I'm going to be a bit controversial. I'm going to go the same with Jack. I'm going to go with Everton win.
Okay.
But I'm going to say it's going to be a penalties.
Oh. Oh,
Right.
that'll be an interesting one.
So is that
Bold
0-0
ones.
at the end of the game to penalties, or what?
And end of the game, say 1-1,
Right.
and then go to penalties.
I see. Okay.
What are you going for, Seb?
I think Everton might just scrape out a win 2-1, but they're not gonna make good work. They're not gonna make it easy for themselves. They usually do that in the cup, don't they? They make it difficult for themselves. So I've got a feeling that will continue, like 2-1 or something.
Okay, cool. So I guess the last thing to mention in our previews is the big one tomorrow, which he's scared of for the game even
What
happening.
big one?
Joe Stanley.
Yeah. What big one?
What big one? You know what it is. It's Man United versus Liverpool in the FA Cup. Well, we hope.
Didn't prepare my notes. Didn't know they were playing.
Oh, there's a bit of fisticuffs.
Well, we hoped last week would be a good game, but let's just hope that this week it'll be a lot better game, because last week in the Premier League at Anfield it was a goalless draw, which didn't really have much to remember by. It was kind of a good result for United, but then it's a bit frustrating to think that Burnley can do it at Anfield a few days later. But oh well.
They defeated. They finished the the winning streak that Liverpool had at home, and now they've broken the invincibility streak that they had at Anfield. Credit to Burnley.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh,
Very
Cancelo's on for City.
Yeah, Burnley are better than Manchester United, Jamie.
Ooh, I don't know. We beat them 2 weeks ago. I don't know what you say. But I mean, Joe's not here, so clearly he is afraid. But tomorrow we will be doing a live watch along, and I hope he can make it for when United beat them 5-0, and Luke Tanner as well. So it'll be an interesting watch along. Jack, starting off with you. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because FA Cup, I mean, you still want to beat your rivals, but when it comes to FA Cup, I'm not saying it's hit or miss, but I don't know. For United right now, the league season is going well. As a United fan, you kind of want to focus on that, but we don't want to lose to Liverpool in the Cup.
Yeah, but I also think the FA Cup's a main sort of cup competition as well. So I think obviously wanting to win a trophy is also a bonus in like when you finish the league. So I think Manchester United, Ollie's going to have to balance that up. Obviously they're doing well in the league at the moment, of course, but that chance of that silverware at the end of the season is obviously a huge bonus, and obviously fans love to win something. So I think it may maybe say if they fall away a little bit from the Premier League, you're still in that FA Cup competition at the end of the season. So it is obviously a balancing act. I think Liverpool's actually main priority would be the league more than say Manchester United, because of the way obviously the performances with Burnley the night, and they just sort of fell away a bit, haven't they? Sort of Liverpool. It's not just because Joe's disappeared that I'm going to have a little bit of a slag off of Liverpool, but I just
why not? Let's
just go for it. But no, look, I think Klopp is the one. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Because obviously we've had quite a lot of the managers this season have been under pressure at certain times. Arteta, Ollie, now Frank, Steve Bruce, obviously at his job at Newcastle at the moment. But I think Klopp, the way he's sort of portraying himself on the touchline, the way he's coming in interviews before and after games, there's just something about him this season. He's not happy with whatever's going on behind the scenes in the sort of club or the dressing room or whatever. But I think Ollie's going into this match thinking, obviously we played well. I know it was a 0-0, but they did play well, Manchester United. They were the better team last weekend, and they had the opportunities to win that game. Probably should have won that game. So surely they're going into this weekend's match more confident than Liverpool. Surely because it's a cup competition this time round, they should just go for it. So I think Manchester United are probably going to go in it with a bit more of an edge this weekend. I think Liverpool might still be licking their wounds from that Burnley defeat.
Luke Tanner telling you to be careful, Jack.
Is he? I don't really care. He's arrogant. He's arrogant. Klopp is. He's arrogant. Luke, come at me.
I mean, to be honest, I think from halfway through last season, I think Liverpool have been playing half as good as they were.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think they've been on a downward spiral since then.
Come at us, Luke.
So you come at me if you want, Luke. But I think they've been playing worse and worse as they got on. And Salah hasn't been as good as he has been.
We've got a goal in the City game.
He's been getting gradually worse.
Adam, what, Adam?
For God's sake.
Adam. What's going on, Adam?
Phil Foden gets the goal.
Oh no,
We asked
Adam.
Adam, not Seb.
The guy in a different country is the one.
offside.
I know.
Ooh.
Well, you
No,
see,
he's onside.
when
He's
we've
on.
been,
He's on.
I got the wrong player.
I am well behind here.
Cancelo
I'm
gets
not
the
sure how
assist.
far behind.
Cancelo gets the assist. Did you know there are 2 players on the pitch who were born 27th of May?
Oh
for
my
God's
god.
sake.
I didn't know.
Phil Foden.
Hold on.
Phil Foden,
Hold on.
28th of May.
There might be a goal here.
Is he offside, Adam?
Oh, it's a goal!
Chris Kamara is late on that one. According to our sources, there's been a goal, Adam.
I put the update on. No worries. No worries.
Wait, there might be a goal. Oh, goal!
Well, actually,
It's Fran Torres who got the assist. I was wrong about Cancelo. Fran Torres.
We must have bad signal in Wales. We're this far behind.
It gets quicker into Europe than it does to Wales.
Hey, I'll have you know, Chester to England.
So, yeah, Cheltenham
The
won,
stadium would
Manchester
be
City
a
won.
different dispute, right?
Oh, don't go into that.
Oh, yeah, we won't get into that. That is another argument for another
Let's
sport.
talk geopolitical.
Yeah.
Going back to the Liverpool game, then. So, I mean, I think what you said before, Adam, was right about Klopp in terms of. I'll be honest. I think Liverpool got very lucky after the Christmas point of last season.
Oh, they did, yeah.
I think they had so many lucky wins, which is that's fine. That's fine when you're winning the title because it takes lucky wins. But they already sealed it by then. But then that Watford defeat when they lost 3-0 was a big defeat. They got absolutely battered in that game. So it was an interesting one. But I mean, with United, haven't lost since October in the Premier League, which is kind of familiar with the FA Cup because we're talking about English football here. So it's going to be an interesting game. But I feel like, Jack, United probably are the favourites just because Liverpool at the moment have failed to score in the last 4 games, I think.
Yeah, I do. I just, in regards to Liverpool, like that front three for the last few seasons has been, deadly. They've taken their chances. They've combined well, but this season it just doesn't seem to be. I don't know. Like I said, behind the scenes, I don't know if something's changed or, like I said, Klopp seems to be agitated in every press conference before or after the games. Obviously that touchline row he's had with Sean Dyche in the week obviously highlighted, that's sort of been blown out as well in terms of the media. So look, I mean, something just seems to be a little bit off at Liverpool at the moment. And look, like I said, United really should have won that game last weekend.
Goal.
Oh, Seb, leave it with Adam.
No,
it's his game.
I'll be cutting by Adam in a minute and a half. But yeah, look, I just think like United need to take their chances tomorrow and progress into the cup. Who've they got? West Ham next, we said. If whoever wins this game between Liverpool and Manchester United. So again, West Ham will be a tough opponent to whoever goes through. But I just think United surely have to take this opportunity. Doesn't matter what team they play tomorrow. They, even if they played like a more younger team, they should really, take their chances.
Oh, the goal!
Oh,
Adam, what's happened at
It was a cross into the box. Jesus takes it on the foot and turns and smashes it past Griffiths for the second goal.
Wait, Jesus actually scored a goal?
Yeah.
We're
That
all
never
as shocked
happens.
as you are, Jamie. We're all as
oh,
shocked.
there's a
No,
goal! There's a goal! Jesus.
There's a goal.
I must admit, he's one of the most overrated players I've ever seen.
Is he rated?
Well, I don't know.
I don't think he is, really.
He was hyped up a few years back, and I still to this day never understood that.
He was only really rated because he's all, got these relations to all these other different players. So
What? What?
I think hasn't he sort of got some sort of relation to all these different players? His uncle is some relation to another, to Maradona or something like that.
You're digging into something here.
I think that's Aguero who is.
Is that Aguero? Was it?
He's married.
He was married, wasn't he? He was married to
maybe Diego Maradona's his
daughter.
Yeah, his daughter, and then also he's Messi's kid's stepdad. Is that right?
So
All right. Well,
Great.
okay. It was something or other.
great intel, Adam.
You're mixing up the South African Americans there.
But yeah, he's overrated.
I don't think he's rated, is he? He's very wasteful, isn't he? But then you see matches like he had against Real Madrid, and he was outstanding.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's a shame.
those sort of matches suit him because it's like a footballing match. But when he faces somebody with physicality, it doesn't suit him.
Well, I'd argue Diaz and Varane are very strong players.
Anyway, let's get our predictions then. Let's start off with you, Jack. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win?
Sorry, Joe and Luke, but I feel like I said, United need to take their chance this time round. So I think it would be a little bit close. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Manchester United.
2-1 to. Ooh, that'll be a close one. I'll share mine in a bit. But Seb, how about you? What are you going for? Because last week you said United, I remember.
Yeah, I think also just the fact that they have shown recently they can score. I know they didn't against Liverpool, but they can score. So Liverpool haven't shown that they can. So I think United might scrape it. It might be them on penalties. I wouldn't be at all surprised if that were the case. But I've got a better question. Who needs to win more, Ole or Klopp?
Klopp.
I don't know.
Because that doesn't sound familiar for cup matches for
Ole
Klopp.
won't have any other trophies apart from Europa League and the league then. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but I think United just scrape
I'm going. I'm not sure who to go for because it's the fact that I don't want to be harsh and go for the one I think.
Adam, be harsh.
The one I think is going to win,
Uh-huh.
but the one I think is going to win is Manchester United, and I think they're going to do it by 2, maybe 3-0.
Oof, blimey.
Wow, that'd be nice.
So I think Manchester United owe them a big stinging victory.
So that's 3 at the moment saying a United win, and let's make it 4.
I laugh when you said Liverpool.
I'm not going to share my prediction, but
Let's talk Manchester United. Is that what it's called?
But I'm going to go for the United win. I will say this now. I think it comes down to. I'd love to see Cavani start in this game. Again, it's FA Cup, so Dean Henderson.
Yeah, it does come down to if he starts, though. It does come down to if he starts. If he doesn't start.
He should be starting every game for me. He showed that against Fulham the other night, where even when people think it's just about him providing the goals, no, it's just his way of playing, his positioning, his experience, his awareness. It's fantastic.
He is non-stop active during games. He will run
Exactly.
back and he will track back. He does everything. But
what were people saying back in the summer when United signed him? Oh, he's old. He's not fit anymore. I'm like, hang on a fucking minute. He's just been.
Didn't have the big
language, Timothy.
Well, I'm sorry, but why is it people doubt a world-class player all of a sudden? You think, well, what's your actual reasoning?
I'd be intrigued to know his stats on conversion rate because I think it's a lot better at United this season than it was at PSG. He had to create himself 9 or 10 chances to get a goal usually, but at least he created those chances for himself. That's what he'd always get credit for. But this season at United, it seems like he's been really clinical. When he's had those chances, he hasn't missed many.
And it'd be interesting if Pogba starts tomorrow as well. He's been on a good few games for United, scoring the winner at Burnley and Fulham to keep United top of the league. So they've been very vital moments from the French midfielder. For Liverpool, I think it really is about can they find a goal, because it's crazy to think with that front line that they've got, they can't get a goal in the last 4 games.
So do you think Van der Beek does get a start? I found it interesting that Kepa Arrizabalaga has played more Premier League minutes this season than Van der Beek.
Oh dear, that is worrying. I'm starting to wonder why we signed Van der Beek, to be honest with you.
What a waste.
What a waste at this moment.
What a waste for both included.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But of course,
I take it full time's happened now, Seb, is it?
No.
Don't rely on Seb True as a
I'm not saying anything. I get criticised when I say stuff. Oh, Seb, your internet's too good. Oh.
From the Swiss towers. So that's our thoughts for the Man United Liverpool game. Of course, we have our live watch along tomorrow, so join us from 4:45 p.m. It'll be myself, Luke Tanner, and Joe Stanley.
You're outnumbered tomorrow, Jamie.
I'm outnumbered. I was outnumbered last
that's
week.
That's why we put the Man United talk in there. I'm giving all of us giving them the win tomorrow. We're evening it out now. We've got to.
Did you need an extra helping hand, Jamie?
You're more than welcome to join us, Adam. You're more than welcome to join us. Anybody else?
I'll be a Liverpool one.
Oh, you bastard! You'll all be wearing Liverpool shirts. I'll be on my own like a mouse. Oh, thank you. But I love it if we score. There'll be me only making the noise. Oh, brilliant. So, of course, yes, do join us at 4:45 tomorrow. Subscribe to Let's Talk Sport, of course. Don't forget. And then you'll find out when the stream comes on and all that on our channel. And Luke Tanner has actually just put in the group chat, on the chat page of our stream, Liverpool on penalties. So
He hasn't just put it, but yeah, if you want to say it. You just haven't been paying attention, Jimmy.
No, I've seen it there for a while. Just I'm ready to say it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're nearly at the end of the show, and at the moment, Adam, we're going into stoppage time with it being Cheltenham 1, Man City 2.
Yes, and I'm not going to say anything in case Seb says it's goal.
I'm not saying anything.
I'm counting anything that I say.
It could be 5-1 here by now, but I'm not telling you.
But yeah, at the moment, it looks like it's going to end 2-1. It's a bit of a midfield pass around at the moment. Man City seem to be well on top at the moment. The pass ratio is just well in Man City's favour, and Man City have all possession at the moment. But yeah, Cheltenham put up a good go, had a good dig at them, got a goal, and that's what you can ask for really in an FA Cup tie against a Premier League team like this. They've done well. It's a fair play to them. They've done really well.
Will Stefan be starting any games anytime soon?
No.
I'm still not convinced by Ederson when he has to save shots, but I don't think this Stefan guy.
He's tall, Stefan. I suppose he can grab those balls when they come into the box, but I don't feel confident when they're coming, out. His big kick. He just likes doing big kicks. He's not as confident as Ederson with the kicks. If you get what I mean, they're not as accurate to the player. Whereas Ederson puts some bang to the feet.
Yeah.
I'm
going to say I wanted to come back onto Liverpool recently and why their strikers aren't performing well. It's because they don't have birthdays the same month.
Oh yeah.
It's because they're spread out between.
They're not in May, are they?
No, April, October, spread out. No chemistry there. Astrologically, that can't work, can it?
Oh yeah, it can't.
Here's one for you.
A Gemini with a Taurus? God, no.
Well, actually, Andy Murray.
They're spiritually off cam.
Andy Murray and Novak Djokovic have the same birthday in the same. Well, no, they don't. They're in the same week. I mean, in the same year. So yeah.
Great fact.
Yeah, for tell you.
I mean, everyone provides heat maps. Everyone provides average formation. We provide birthdays.
You heard it here first.
And Opta, if you try and steal
here
from us,
Man City, will they end it? They've ended it.
Oh, 3-1.
They've ended it. It's 3-1.
Dear. That's a
Oh,
shame.
And it's good night, goodbye, Vienna for Cheltenham Town.
You see how kind I was to you there?
Who scored, Adam?
It was
Torres.
Torres, yes, it was Torres. Thank you very much for that.
I saw you were struggling, Adam.
Yeah, I saw two people hugging each other with a celebration. I was like,
which one was the one who scored?
Was it Mahrez or was it? I was like, which one do I go for?
I guess really, Seb, it's another classic FA Cup game where a lower league team has taken the lead against a team that they shouldn't beat, but then come the end of the game, the energy's gone, and then they lose by a goal or two. So it's, I guess, for Man City, it was a bit of a fright, but they got the job done.
Yeah, that's mainly what they have to do, isn't it? And
it's blown now. It's full time. It's all over here. And it is Manchester City.
Don't worry, Adam. Your job is done now. We know.
Okay.
It was over 4 minutes ago, but it's all over here now.
I think we forgot 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
We forgot to answer a question that was on the group. It said, if City get knocked out, who becomes favourite for the FA Cup? So I deem that irrelevant now.
Oh, Chelsea.
But we can answer it.
Yeah, we can still answer it. Just pretend we didn't know.
We're back. We're back on this level.
And Cheltenham have got a goal.
They've got 3.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, that's the end of those games. But I mean, quickly, Jack, is that a concern for Man City? You know, in terms of, I mean, okay, they've still got 3 goals tonight, but at the end of the day, they're up against a League Two side. But I still feel like they could miss Kevin De Bruyne a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think, look, the way I don't think Pep's worried about if they go a goal down. You know, he's sort of got that, like I said, depth in his squad. Even if they miss De Bruyne or Aguero, they've still got people who can come up with goals. Like Cancelo came on. I know he didn't score, but he assisted one of the goals for them. So I think they've got that, depth in their squad that they're able to do. You know, they're able to bring players on who either assist somebody else or can get the goals themselves. Look, a lot of defenders are actually scoring for Man City at the minute. So, I think like it's sort of the best time to have De Bruyne and Aguero out when you've got the defenders coming on scoring goals. So, yeah, I think they'll be fine.
Interesting. So, well, I think we've pretty much come to the end of our final whistle show, lads. So, of course, a big day in the FA Cup and the Bundesliga and Serie A, you name it, all sorts of football.
And in the Vanderbilt National League as well.
And in
and results in the Bahrainian Premier League. Manama Club lost 1-1 to East River.
Oh, we missed out the MLS, Jamie.
We missed out the MLS. Actually, sorry, yes. We should talk about very quickly. I was mentioning this, the Inter Miami appointment of Phil Neville. So, Jack, start off with you. It was kind of out of nowhere because Phil Neville was the England women's manager up until this summer in terms of the agreement, but Phil Neville's clearly gone, well, you fucking want to get rid of me.
Jamie,
so
language.
The beep wasn't ready, Jamie.
Jamie.
YouTube, it's fine. Anyway, I think for Phil Neville, he'll be just like, yeah, I'm off. It's like, you've got to stay to the... No, I'm off.
I'm off. It's Miami, baby.
It's Miami.
Miami, baby.
Let's go to Miami. But, I mean, he's the Inter Miami boss now. What do you think about that? Because they've only been around for a year.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't actually think it's a bad appointment. I mean, a lot of people are going saying, oh, it's due to Beckham, but he wouldn't have been the one to make the choice. I think that's obviously just because they've obviously been teammates and co-owners of Salford, that they've just gone, oh, well, Beckham's picked him because he's his mate. But, they've obviously gone through a good process. And I know we touched on it maybe a couple of weeks ago about sort of Phil Neville and his sort of achievements, maybe not so in the women's national team. But I still think it's a good appointment for a sort of new up-and-coming team in the MLS. He's got good experience, he's got good knowledge, and like you said earlier in terms of what his brother said, he is always thinking about how to improve a side that he's in charge of. So for a new side like that, obviously they've got star players still, I think, in Higuain and Matuidi. So, they've still got these players that can put on a show in the MLS. So I think I honestly think it's a good appointment for them.
I think a lot of people can criticise it as well, Seb, but Inter Miami are a new club. And for Phil Neville, he's been part of coaching staff for a few clubs now in the background, and now leading the England women's team, and took them to the semis of the Women's World Cup. So he didn't do too badly. The progress wasn't that big of a difference between him and Mark Sampson when he was there in 2015 in the World Cup that happened in Canada. But I guess really for Phil Neville and for Inter Miami, it's quite an interesting project, and I think it suits both parties.
Yeah, I mean, how can they just got into the playoffs they're just in the playoff spots this season. I don't know about this. I don't think Phil Neville is as good as he thinks he is. Because I don't know if you remember when he was the England boss, he would compliment himself way too much. I just find it weird. We know why he's got the job. Because he's Beckham's mate.
Gary Neville. I mean,
would disagree. I know he'd disagree, but I don't care what anyone says. We know why he's the boss there.
Yeah, but Beckham has nothing to do with the recruitment. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, but if he can't say something in the ears of the people who are recruiting, then he's not really the owner of Inter Miami, is he? So
yeah, but there's co-owners though, aren't they? There's a few other parties as well.
Okay, but I don't know. I'm not sure what to think about it. I don't really have that much of an opinion on Neville yet. I'll wait to see how they do. I just want to see how Inter Miami do, because I think they've got Matuidi and Higuain there, so it could be fun.
I would like Phil Neville to have more experience in football with men first before taking. I know it sounds harsh.
Well, he is. He's going to a men's team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
I know they play in pink, but
like National League going into the non-leagues and going upwards. This is how I like my managers to progress. To be going through the non-leagues, going upwards.
Yeah, but that's in an ideal world, and that's not always going to be the case. I mean,
Yeah.
the best manager,
look at Lampard and
Mourinho didn't do
Solskjaer.
that. Klopp didn't do that. The actual big star, or Guardiola didn't. They were coaches for a long time, and then they took on maybe a youth side or a side that's not that big, and then moved their way up. Not exactly going down through non-league, but it doesn't always work like that.
Yeah, but
I know what you
you
mean.
count youth sides as non-league almost.
I guess, yeah, I guess.
I mean.
Whereas Phil Neville's not had that youth side. If you get what I mean, he's just gone straight into England's women.
Phil Neville had stuff to do with the United youth as a coach.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So he has, like I said, he's been in the backroom stuff in a lot of clubs. So he's had his fair share. Will it work for him? I don't know. I think it's a good move. I think for Phil Neville, he's still got a lot to learn. I think his job at England Women was okay. I think he did what was needed. But in terms of progress, there wasn't really much progress. And they've just hired the ex-Dutch manager, the England women's team, who comes in.
Now that could be interesting. That could be really interesting.
I think she could be the person that gets them the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. You've got to have a good team as well. So
also, Phil Neville, he could have gone into the English women's game, because that would have been a good experience for him. Because obviously, to get the experience of going up and winning trophies, you then get an experience of winning stuff.
It'll be interesting. Well, the MLS season doesn't start for another month or so, so we'll be, of course, probably keeping an eye on that. Anyway, my thanks to Jack Price, Adam Davis, and Sebastian True, and Joe Stanley, who was with us earlier. He's hiding away from what could be a big moment for United tomorrow. We'll see. Of course, that FA
and then Liverpool beat them. That would be.
Adam, you can leave. But anyway, my thanks to the lads, and of course, keep an eye out for our FA Cup watch along tomorrow afternoon between Man United and Liverpool. And don't forget to subscribe to Let's Talk Sport. It's a goodbye from us all here